actually turn Africa into a heaven in the next 5 years. It doesn't take time.
So
because I mean, you know, like what I keep saying, you need to think big, then you grow big. You think small, you never grow.
Okay, but the reality is, right now, we're still relying on foreign partners. To create more African banks is going to take some time. So what's your solution?
Well, the solution is that right now, people have seen exactly what, what they've been doing. We don't expect the international banks to do.
You're muted, forefather.
My apologies. This stuff still catches me out. Thank you all for joining us. All those that have not liked, share, and subscribe, please do that, because it will enable the YouTube algorithm to let other people know that the show is on. I see you there. Thank you for sharing the likes and all the stuff there. Although I think you did it for other reasons. let me put the link there so that others can have the link to be able to join in. So, carry on, Jagon. You were making a point about my errors or inaccuracies, the way the solutions I profile.
It's not that it's terrible. Sometimes it's difficult for us all to hear because we have a totally different opinion. And whilst we are all focused on the economic and cultural emergence of a country like Nigeria that should be sitting on the world stage, dictating the world future. Really, that's where we should be. But I would say that I don't believe we've had enough practice, on it. Nigerians haven't had enough practice. Our best years were, the further back you go, the better we get. Imagine that. Instead of the more we go forward, the better we're getting. It's when you go back and back and back that you see the leadership arena was better the further back you go. And that is a crisis. That's what you call a crisis. I'm saying that our culture, more than anything, I love my Yoruba culture. I love the cultures of other Nigerians, but we have to admit, and I began by speaking about the Yoruba culture.
Let me wear my cap.
I spoke to you as to the Yoruba culture specifically because I know about it, and I don't want any intertribal nonsense. I can speak about other cultures, but I can take enough. I can point the finger at Yoruba culture quite easily, which is to say that there are too many things there that need to be thrown out, and there are things that need to be that need re-emerging. But because we don't understand how deeply our cultures are killing our country, that's why we don't really, I don't know how to put it. We're not focused on how we improve. Japan, I've been there several times. It's a beautiful country. They're very much like us in Nigeria. Not in terms of they have so many different ethnicities, but they have a depth of respect in their nation. Their culture is very old. However, they knew that they had to do something in terms of, and something that was good for them. It may not fit everybody, but it fits them in terms of keeping their old culture and entering into the future. When they did that, they became the most futuristic country in the world.
Okay, but hold on though. The main issue that I had was them saying Zimbabwe shouldn't have gotten its land back because they are in the situation they are now.
Who said that? Did I say that?
Nobody said that.
But that's what it's implying by what you are saying.
No. You see, wait, Pascal. Sorry, The thing is, my brother, there's a way you do things, and there's a way that you don't do things. I keep saying, and it's be like say people aren't listening. The way we negotiate as Africans isn't good enough.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I hear what you are saying. The way we negotiate is the issue. But what if the other side, you negotiated a fair deal and they are supposed to they are supposed to pay for their farmers and all the rest. They refuse to do it. Then you decide to take action to do what you need to do. And this is the thing our people don't always fail to understand.
Wait.
They will not give you what you want.
Let me ask you this question: how long was Mugabe in power for? How long?
Yes.
I'm not sure, but for decades at least.
Decades. Let's say 30 years. Wait. Let me just have this quick conversation.
Google it now.
Let me just have this quick conversation with now. Let's say 30 years. In that time, Mugabe had the time to play the game, and he should have played the game. He should have played the game with the white farmers. He should have played the game with the white nationals.
7 years.
So it's nearly 40 years. For me, that's enough time for me to play a game. If I decided that I'm the only one who could run this country, I would have played the game.
What game are you going to play?
Well, bruh, I wouldn't have kicked all of the white farmers out. Because I now have the country back and I'm the first president, I know that the country will never leave the hands of the people again. So what my plan is to use the whole nation in order to make a difference before I come off that stage. The difference would be that as Zimbabwe was the breadbasket of Southern Africa in terms of food and such, that would have maintained itself. I would have never messed with that. The only thing I would have done is to negotiate with all the farmers how many black workers they're taking in, and I want black workers in these positions, which is the position of learning what mechanized farming is all about in this nation. That's what I've done. You can't just
I hear what you just said. You see, this is the thing I keep saying. Our people would like to think that they are stupid. Other people are stupid. They will just give you what they have. The elites of any nation never cede power. This is not black or white thing. No elite will sit down and just cede power to the DC, especially wealth. They will never cede it. And land wealth is even worse. All the nations that's ever happened.
Are you sitting this night and telling us that Mugabe is not part of the elite?
Mugabe is sorry. You are not.
Mugabe now as part of the.
Sorry. You are not understanding what I'm saying. Okay, maybe I should clarify it. Like in the case of South Africa and Zimbabwe, the elites we are referring to here are mostly Europeans. That's what we're talking about. And you cannot have Europeans become your elites in perpetuity. You're asking for trouble eventually. And you all know that.
I don't know that.
What he wanted to change.
We don't all know that.
Obviously, you probably want colonization to return. So you can go on.
For what
if you want colonization to return, then it's fine.
Jagu made a point. You are pivoting away from the point Jagu made.
What was the point he made?
What Jagu said.
You don't know what he said?
40 years, he said it was enough time to negotiate and put his people, Mugabe, to put his people in a very good position.
But you can't.
How can't you?
Because you can't force it.
What Jagu said is very simple. Make sure, look, who were the human resources they were using to work on the farm? Was it not black people? Is it not what Jagu said is very simple, and that is a successful.
Okay, it's very simple. Now let me show you how simple it is. Let me simplify it for you even further. Even in Western countries, elites have become richer, not the other way around. Stop. What you are saying here, you are talking about some forces you don't necessarily understand. That is the problem.
Forefathers, are you bothered about the money in people's pockets? Are you bothered about people becoming richer or about people being liberated? Are you focusing on the elites are becoming richer and that is the problem?
No, I'm saying if you want to have elites, let it be the black elites, not European elites over you. Because if European elites are ruling you, they are basically ruling you. That's what we had under colonization.
Mugabe was in power. So there was no European elites ruling him. Mugabe was in power. Mugabe was in power. Jagu has just given you
I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you.
Forefathers, you are not telling us anything.
This is not black or white thing. Elites don't concede power. And if you are comfortable with Europeans being elite in any country, fine. That's on you.
Let me summarize what you are doing. You have an answer. You have an answer, a narrative, an agenda.
If you have evidence for what you are saying to counter what I'm saying, I can show you evidence for what I'm saying.
Forefathers, at some point, it was white people that were ruling Zimbabwe.
Yes.
True or false?
True.
Okay. At what point did black people come to power?
After the independence.
Exactly. Do you think that it was given on a platter of gold? They fought for it.
Yes, they did.
Okay. Now, what Jagun is saying, the same way you fought carefully for your independence and you got it, it's just supposed to be a trajectory. You smartly follow it. For me, this thing is black and white. Okay? Nobody will come and convince me that Mugabe is a good leader. It will not happen. Because you can't rule for 37 years with no succession plan, and you leave the country in the mess that it is, and you are still a good person. It doesn't work that way. Okay? Now, all I'm trying to make you understand, forefathers, is that yes, Zimbabwean people are suffering now. And your theory is that when people suffer, there is benefit for it. I agree with that. But I think it's not a smart way of thinking, sincerely speaking.
You see, I think when we use that term smart, we think we can outsmart these people. You can't.
Oh, well,
you can never outsmart the elite.
This is why
Forefather, you are coming from two different angles.
Right.
You know, you are saying two different things now, forefather. On one hand, you are using the same Mugabe disdain for the West as a negotiation tool. You're not going to succeed like that. I can tell you that for free.
No.
Wait, let me land.
What do you mean disdain for the West?
I'm saying that you are. Please take time and listen. Please, guys. I'm saying to you, forefather, that on one hand, you are using the same logic as people like Mugabe, who so dislike the West that they're using their emotion to negotiate. Even though they're very intelligent, they're using emotion to negotiate. And then on the other hand, you are saying that you can never beat the white man at his game, which is for me, that's not true. We've seen people do that in the world. Japan did it. China have done it. So many nations have done it.
Well,
they use the Western money to develop their country. So they outsmarted the white people. Take it or leave it. They did.
Okay, so now don't just shout at it, kind of talk over people. See, somebody makes one. Somebody no. One person made one point. You see that. So you won't let me respond coherently because you just want to muddy the water. That's how you made me forget my point. See, what you are doing here is that you are calling somebody a bad leader when your country has not even touched half of what he's managed to do.
My leader is also bad.
No, it's not the same thing. At least he acted. Now, the only point I will concede to you is that he didn't plan his succession that will maintain a strong economy. But maybe because he's surrounded by coons all around him, and fellow Africans tell him, "How dare you do this?" And they all betrayed him. Do you know how China survived? China was doing trade by barter, but with fellow Asian nations. And people like him, because they had people to support them to emerge. We turn on our own, say, "How dare you? You should have done it smarter." But do you know how long the plan that Mugabe had with the British, how long it lasted? Did you bother to check? He was patient. They were patient for decades for the British to do their part. The British never did. And the same thing is happening in South Africa today as evidence. So, because I'm not just saying something out of just flippancy. I'm talking about evidence here. Based on the agreement they had with during the apartheid, the end of the apartheid regime, they were supposed to have handed a lot of farms and land to the black population. The wealth disparity should have reduced significantly, but has hardly moved at all till today in South Africa. That should tell you what you need to understand. They will not move until you make them move. Nobody concedes power, even if you're the same race as you. They will never want the power.
Calm down. You are right. Wait. You are right.
Understand how that is complicated. It's not
wait. Forefather, you are correct in terms of how long it took. But again, we're not able to say everything. You see, me as an individual, much less than somebody like Mugabe. I don't try to suggest to you all that I'm more intelligent than Mugabe. Me as an individual, I know how much the West has lied, cheated, and stolen in order to get its way. By the time I'm waiting like 2 years for the British to react, that's the end. I'm now doing what I'm doing. And I feel that, again, it's just an African thing. I believe it's not to say that Africans need to come outside of Africa and smell the coffee from outside. But there's something about exposure that will put you in a position to have an understanding of who it is that you are actually negotiating. I know white people probably better than anyone on this arena. I know them. I've been in there with them. I've in the 90s, I was about 2 times a week for a good 6 months. I was in number 10 Downing Street with my own business, showing them what I'm doing, and listening to their lies, and listening to how they feel that, wow, that's a fantastic idea. I know them, and I feel that we give them too much respect generally, and it's that deference that we give them that allows them to play with us in the way they do. I'm just not built of that stuff.
Okay, so I got the numbers now. For 17 years, they had this agreement before Zimbabwe. Even
17 years.
17 straight years that they were supposed to hand the land over. Only about 20% was done during that whole period. They were supposed to hand the entire thing over, but the British government didn't do it. And then it even took, after that 17 years, it took to the year 2000 before Zimbabwe, Mugabe started acting, which was 20 straight years. South Africa has been I think it's just about 20 straight years now in South Africa, or 30 years even, and not much has even moved. And we keep still saying that this is not even a white and black thing. This is an elite thing. Elite never concede power. It's just downright straight for you. This is what you are seeing in Nigeria. This is what you see in every country. To expect the European elites to behave any different from other elites and hand power over, hand land over, it's not going to happen. You have to act.
Okay. What is that? What is the act? What is the act for, Father? What is the action that needs to be taken?
The action in the context of the discussion we're having, it was that what Mugabe did was the right thing. He even tried to play it smart and play it calm, the way everybody talked. 20 years passed, nothing happened. And if you know the tragedy of how they lost those lands, man, it's horrible. The way they took those lands from them. It's horrible. We in Nigeria didn't experience anything like that. So we don't know what it's like. So, and those people that fought for the war, that fought the wars, they were telling Mugabe, we didn't fight for war for nothing and win it, and then we don't get our land back. They were patient for almost 20 years. Only 20% was given back to them. And this man had to do what needed to be done and say, kill us if you want. Do whatever you like. And now we are blaming him for acting.
Forefathers, they are being clever by half. Forefathers, they are being clever by half. I'll tell you why. See, they say he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Let us be honest with ourselves. Let us not be dribbling and telling half-truths and covering things up. The truth about it's not just about land. You keep on making it look like, oh, it's the land, it's the land. The truth is that it is not the land. The truth is that the people, and it was what happened, that was why everything turned over after Mugabe forcefully took the lands. Mugabe was interested in the farms. He was interested in the revenue that was coming from the farms. Those people that say they fought the war, they wanted to go and loot. They wanted to take back those revenues. Now, let me tell you something. If you don't create something, you cannot maintain it. When the thing runs down, you will run it to the ground completely. That is what happened in Zimbabwe. After those people took the lands, Mugabe gave that land to his family members, to his cronies, and then they ran it down. They ran it to the ground. That's why even now they are telling the farmers to come back.
Dexter, this thing you are saying
didn't
is
run
not
into
only
the
in
ground. The
Zimbabwe,
West
even in
blocked them from
Nigeria.
trading.
Exactly. That's what happens. That's why I'm saying don't be clever by half.
The West blocked them from trading. So why did the West not leave the same condition and see whether they will run into the ground?
Forefathers, you are
falling for their trap. You are falling for their trap.
Forefathers, you are playing two hands. You just talked about trading within yourself. Why didn't those farmers trade all those their products?
Because Africans are like you.
It's not true. Forefathers, Africans want to eat food. Forefathers, stop being clever.
Don't worry, you are finding the food you are eating now, aren't you? You keep chasing food and you see whether you find it.
Clever by half. You just told us that China stayed inside and they traded.
Oh my God! I hope you find the food. You see, I hope you will find the food you are looking for. You Africans that love food so much, like Esau. Hold on. Let me say this. This is the proverbial Esau. You can't even make it up. He literally said, "Africans for food." You are the proverbial Esau. You don't understand that there are certain things that lies beyond food.
Forefathers, you told us China
giving away far more.
Forefathers, you told us China traded with Asian countries, that they were not trading with outside people. Why didn't Zimbabwe trade with the African countries when they took the farm?
Good question.
Why are you looking for Western money?
Do you want answer?
Answer.
The answer is because many African countries are like you.
Forefathers, you are being incoherent here.
Okay, now let me make it clearer. For you. They are like you because all of them are afraid of the West and they don't like they just want food, like you said. Hold on now. You asked a question. They don't want the West to penalize them because the West will tell them, if you trade with this country, you too will be under the same
the West will tell them, is it a categorical statement or you are making
No, that's how it works. That's how it works.
Forefathers, did the West tell anybody if you trade with Zimbabwe, we will penalize you?
Yes.
Which countries in Africa did they tell? Bring the statistics. Bring the
from
information.
South Africa to all the countries.
Forefathers, bring the information.
Dexter,
oh my God, I can't believe you're arguing this point.
In fairness to forefathers, when the US sanctions a country, they do not expect you to trade with that country.
It's obvious now.
But see, Dexter, no, in fairness, look, I think it's forefathers that is creating the problem for himself. To start with, nobody mentioned Mugabe. You are the one that brought Mugabe into this conversation.
Because you don't like him. He did the right thing.
No. Listen, forefathers, I have nothing against Mugabe. Mugabe is the typical African leader. If you take Mugabe, you take Mobutu Sese Seko, you take Paul Biya. I mean, you would count like 30 Mugabes in Africa. I cannot, at my age now, with the level of...
I think to lump Mugabe with Paul Biya and others is quite... It's like lumping them with Sankara and... No, they are not the same. They are not the same type of leaders.
No, so what you are now doing...
But they have the same results. The results are the same.
What forefathers now is trying to do, you want to compare Mugabe and Sankara.
No. Maybe Mugabe is... See, what I can tell you is that, as a matter of fact, in the African context, the only leaders that have succeeded in what they wanted to do and will be tied whoever opposed them was Mugabe and Idi Amin. In terms of Idi Amin got rid of expelled a lot of Indians. He didn't care of the consequences. He faced the consequences. And Mugabe actually executed his own plan. The idea that all the others, they did that, and all the ones that are dithering, I wish they were doing better now. I would just surrender and say, yeah, you're right. All the ones that did that all the time, where did he get them? He didn't get them anywhere. Our GDP per capita is less. Our life expectancy is less. We are suffering. All of us are overseas. So what are we fighting for? We keep looking for food every day. Keep chasing food. Let's see where food is going to get you, like Esau.
Okay,
it's not going to get you anywhere.
I have two things to tell you, forefathers, in response. Okay, you're right that if you die, is this guy who is from Kogi State who say if you tell the truth you die. What's the other one? He says, if you don't tell the truth,
you die. I will die.
That is what you're saying, forefathers. But yes. I think, for me, in all honesty, okay, it will be foolhardy for a leader that calls himself a leader to go and look for a fight that he knows that he will not win it. And in the end, his people will suffer for it. It doesn't make sense, forefathers. Yes, Nigeria, we are not fighting with America, and our GDP per capita is bad. Okay. But that is not to compare us, because if you take Zimbabwe today, structurally, as bad as Nigeria is, Zimbabwe cannot compare itself. Like I've told you, a country that has 90% inflation rate is at the brink of disaster.
What is the point of 90% inflation rate if their own life expectancy is still higher than yours? If your own that is not so high, you are still suffering and dying faster than they die almost 10 years. What is the use of that? Okay. If I tell you now, I should take 10 years from your life, will you be happy
the answer is a straightforward answer. If we get a good leader in Nigeria, in 2 years, that GDP that you are seeing can double. I doubt if Zimbabwe can do the same feat, no matter how good a leader.
We got independence before them. We still haven't managed it.
Yes, but I don't even know this one. Look, your argument is flawed because you're comparing a rotten tomato to rotten tomato. So
actually, I'm comparing a leader that actually had a vision and executed it for his own people's interests. And do you see? I think maybe do you know the way the Libyans lost their land?
It's not true. You are not being either. You are not educated enough to know what you're talking about, or you're clearly not being honest. In Nigeria, in my statement this night, I've told you Nigerian leaders that stood to the West and they were killed. So how can you lump us as a people and say we didn't stand up to the West? We did. If we're suffering today, if we're suffering,
we didn't stand up to the West. So when did you stand up to the West again?
Go and read this. I will send you this Murtala Mohammed speech. I'll Google it now. The speech he gave.
No, he made a speech.
That and said to this man that he doesn't seem to know that.
So Nigeria making one speech is how you stand up to the West. Making one speech is how you stand up to the West.
Yes.
They didn't like Murtala. They didn't like him at all.
They has hundreds of speeches.
Awolowo sent out the wives from Lagos.
Father, that was the reason he was assassinated. Is the last president, is the last leader we have that is a nationalist. That's the last leader that we had that is a nationalist that actually stood against all the things that you are talking about, and it was assassinated.
See, sorry, you know what I have against him? You know what I have against him?
What?
You call him a nationalist. I fear that he is the one that set the stage for what Nigeria became today. He came into office.
No. Wait, hold on now. Follow history. Because of that, he was assassinated. Then Obasanjo just came in and gave us what we have today.
Okay, now let me tell you the reason. Sorry, you've not let me even make my point. The reason why I hold him accountable for the state that we are in today, when he came into office, the first thing he did was the Nigerian military size was around 250,000. He almost halved it in under a year. He went on to do that. One man did that, disarmed the country. And what he did then is ironic because he didn't have security around him when he was assassinated. Because he didn't, for some reason, I don't know why he didn't value it. And if somebody like that was a nationalist and was going out there saying Nigeria has arrived and you are disarming yourself for a soldier, that is highly
Tunanja, hold on. Tunanja, remember, I don't know if you still remember, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked, you asked me a question about why is it that in the 70s, right? You play a video where somebody was talking about the 70s, how things were doing good and we refused to capitalize on it. And you fell for it. And I say, no, you need to understand between 60s, 70s, and 80s, we are under direct antagonists of the United States. So you have to understand what brought Murtala Mohammed to power. Remember, it was coup after coup after coup. So even within your household, you have an agent who's representing the United States, who represents the CIA, telling them all your moves. So you need to go find out the reason why it is not his own rule to actually reduce the numbers of the presidency. If you look, if you actually pay attention, even up to Obasanjo, they all do the same thing, right? Now, I am not saying that is the way to go. but it was not their intention to actually reduce the military. Of course, I agree with you. Maybe that's what led to his assassination. But just to tell you that for them to assassinate him, he stands for something. And again, as soon as they assassinated him, when Obasanjo came in, the constitution that was in play was altered. About 20 policies were given to Obasanjo to put. This is not me saying it. If you go and read, if you go and listen to the lawyers who were in charge at that time, who are Rotimi Williams and co, who are also confessing now, they said everything. So he actually stood against the words, but within his cabinet and within the country, the people who are against, who are speaking, who are on the other side, were just way too much. Don't forget,
so I hear what you're saying there. So what you just revealed to us is that his actions for a nationalist, when nationalists arrive in office, the defenses of the nation were supposed to be put up. Like Trump now, Trump is hardly an ultra-nationalist, but when he came into office, people are joining the military like in droves.
My brother, hold on, Tunanja. My brother here says something. I asked you a question earlier on. What are they scared of? That not all of them are scared of projecting national interest. I'm talking about all our leaders. What are they scared of? I said, since over 30 years, we don't have a nationalism. Why? That's exactly why they are scared. Assassination, right? Now, I'm not making excuses for them, but that's what it's going to take. We have to have a group of people or a leader that will say, you know what, enough it was, and we are going to. It's going to cost millions of death.
But that goes to the core of the discussion we are having. That goes to the core of the discussion we are having, because at the core of it was that I thought Mugabe, with all his flaws, especially the fact that he didn't kind of have a protege that is going to take over after him, he did the right thing by his people. And one other thing that I just want to highlight before the next person goes is like South Africa now. Many South Africans will like, or people that say, oh, don't change anything in South Africa, will say, oh, if you do that, the economy is going to go down. The economy is going to. Like, the economy is going to go down. The only reason why it's going to go down because it was never yours. It belongs to the white people. You control 5%.
That's what Malame is fighting for.
And you want to preserve it so that tomorrow it kills you. You will remove it. Whatever remains, you build from there. Don't keep envying other people's wealth and saying, if they don't want to share it with you, then let them take it and go. Let it start from zero. There was a time Japan kicked everybody out for more than 100 years. Japan didn't let anybody come inside their country. Why do we always have to say we have to be with people? Or if they go, our wealth is going to go down? Who cares? It was never yours. It belongs to them. That's why they can affect you so badly. If they want to block you from trading, let them do it, because the only reason why they can do that because you don't have any means. You start building those means to do those things yourself, because you shouldn't have to rely on them. If you rely on them, you're already dead. They can decide your fate.
Oh, Father, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for us to form a movement, me and you, based on this. God, and everybody is scared. This is a way to form a movement or take a role of a leadership, because it's all about economy. That's why Malame is fighting for in South Africa. Somebody has to channel national interest to take over the economy. That's the only way. It's going to come millions of dead, either by guns or by starvation. But hey, whatever. That's the only way. That's the freedom I'm talking about.
I have to, honestly, I like what Nnamdi saying is very vital, but there are some misconceptions I've been hearing, and you guys don't give me the opportunity to talk, and that thing sometimes makes me mad. If sometimes I hear my talk. But yeah, like there's a misconception that Japan successfully negotiated with the US, and China is actually very wrong. Like, it's very wrong. It's not true. So what happened was, I'll make it as simple as possible and a short period of time to summarize what happened after the Second World War, after the nuclear attack by the US on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Yes. What happened was after that nuclear holocaust, what happened was US, after the Second World War, US was worried that the Soviet Union, which was another second superpower, could come and take over the whole of Asia. So what they did was they needed to control Japan. So to cut the story short, they found a path, a security path. And I'll tie this to the Gulf, to so-called Middle East, those useless motherfuckers, those monarchies. But let me talk about Japan first. they found the security pact.
Make it easy with the swearing. You're supposed to be the lecturer here. You are the one swearing the most.
Okay, I'll try not to swear. So, that security pact was the foundation of Japan's security architecture and foreign policy up to this day. And during that same period, in the late 1940s and early 1950s, US was implementing what we call the Marshall Plan in Western Europe. And they were also aware that they needed to contain their adversaries in the 1950s, which was China and the Soviet Union. So they needed to implement that same Marshall Plan, which was investing in those countries unconditionally. I'll repeat it again. Investing in those countries unconditionally so that those countries can develop. And don't forget that Japan was already industrialized during the Second World, after the Second World, or before the Second World War. Japan was industrialized. So they had the human capital.
But Jide, you are right. Jide, you are right. What father too was right. It's just the time different.
Yes.
It's just the time different. What father was talking about was before what you are talking about. So both of you guys are right. But just you are more current of what is happening now. But I was talking about what happened before now.
Yeah. So it's not even for father. Someone said that Japan had good negotiation. Even up till now, Japan's foreign policy is controlled by the US. And guess what? Japan doesn't even have a nuclear weapon. They are under the nuclear umbrella of the US. And now, Japan, they are saying that they not an agreement with the US that we're not going to fight anybody. But at the same time, we're going to be in self-defense against China and North Korea. I repeat, after the Second World War, they had an agreement with Japan and Japan don't fight anybody again. They are too aggressive. But at the same time, they can go into self-defense against China and North Korea. You can see the contradiction. So now, Japan economy is buoyant. The quality of life in Japan, you cannot compare it to any part of Africa. But you need to know that they have to pay a price.
You can't even compare
and
it
that
to
price,
America.
Honestly, I agree.
The quality of life in Japan is higher than that of America.
Yes.
And they are what they call a nuclear threshold nation. If they want to build a nuclear weapon, they can build it because they have the fissile material.
But that will be with the permission of the US.
They don't need the US if they want to.
No,
the current government of Japan.
I know what I'm saying.
They can fall out if they choose to. They can fall out with the US.
No, that's not the case. That's
why?
the problem is.
What's going to happen? You're going to kill them.
They cannot afford it, Naja. They can't afford it.
No, they cannot afford it. It's very unlikely.
They have killed them before.
Sorry.
They cannot afford it. They cannot afford it.
Why not?
America killed Japan
there have to be a revolution in Japan.
I see. Let me say this.
There has to be a revolution in Japan.
I see. Try to understand. Even if Germany decides that, you know what, we are tired of America. American military bases live there. What is America going to do? Attack them? No, you're not going to attack them. The world has changed. If Japan says, you know what, we are tired of you, America. I want to make
they will starve you. They will starve you.
Calm down. Let me paint the scenario now. Let me paint the scenario. What if Japan says, oh, I'm tired of America. I want to go with China now. Please, can you leave? We are not fighting you. We just want you to leave. What do you think America is going to do? Kill them for that?
Sanctions.
Oh, yeah. You can sanction them. All right. You can go. But they can trade with China just fine.
Forefathers, I think you are doing yourself a disservice. You have a solid point, but you are not selling it well. We will, on this panel, all agree with you that African countries should stand up to the West. Where somebody like me will part ways with you is when something that Jagun raised is we are now using emotion. Somebody who is more powerful than you is more powerful than you, forefathers. Take it or leave it. You want to fight that guy at that point at your own peril.
I don't want to fight too. I don't want to fight. The idea is I was going to make it. Sorry, I think you are mistaking me. You are talking about emotions. You are mistaking me. I started this show asking one question, that if you look at the countries America has strong alliance with, they are all doing relatively well. Japan, Taiwan, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Egypt, all of them are doing just fine, including Israel. So
I listened to forefathers, but I didn't want to.
Why are you looking at it like I'm trying to fight them? I'm not looking to fight them.
Listen to what Jide just said now. Okay? These things don't make it sound as if it is the countries that made that choice. Oh, let me go with America. No. The Marshall Plan. The Marshall Plan. This thing is a plan. Everybody sat down on the table and said, this is what is going
on. After they don't lost millions of their citizens. After they don't, so I wouldn't need to lose millions of our own.
I want to ask you one question.
That's another question.
I want to ask one question. Do you think that Japanese Prime Minister is happy that they are under the influence of the US? Do you think they are so happy about this? They are not.
They would rather not do it.
But they don't have a choice.
They would rather not. Sorry. One thing I can tell you for sure that I truly believe that they would think they would rather not do it, but they would know for sure this is a better outcome for them than they would ever have hoped for. Because what they have now, they are even more advanced than America.
How many millions are we ready to lose to attain that freedom? That's the question.
The question.
How many millions are we ready?
And I wanted to ask another question too. I wanted to ask another question. The Marshall Plan didn't include America trading with China. China made themselves useful.
I agree.
So that they had to sign on to China.
And
that is what we are not doing.
China did not do anything special. China did not do anything special. That's why we get it wrong. China was they were benefits of circumstance.
Those guys were smart. Those guys were smart.
Yes, I do not disagree on China's brilliance and revolutionary.
Is the same situation India is in now, Jide?
Yeah, India is in the same
China
situation.
India is in the same position.
Has a different ideology. Well, I know, but India has a different ideology. This Indian government is
but they're in the same position to take advantage of the circumstances.
Well, I don't really agree because India is not an anti-imperialist country, number one. Number two, the ideology is completely different from China's ideology. Number three, this Indian government is not revolutionary at all. So we need to understand the Chinese government was revolutionary.
You just described China. You just described China, Jide. You just described China.
Yes.
China is not anti-imperialist. I'm not sure they are that much anti-imperialist.
No.
They just want to do trade with everybody.
Politics. I get what you're saying. I don't disagree. I understand the circumstance. I agree with the circumstance. What I'm saying is, for India to get to that territory of China, I doubt it. I'm very skeptical of it. That's the point I'm making. Because
look at the future. Don't look now. Look at 50 years from now, 100 years from now.
I still don't think India is going to be like China.
It is because of India that I'm telling forefathers that his philosophy of suffering is a wrong philosophy. What do we need to be telling our people?
I didn't say we should just suffer for the sake of it. Don't go and say my philosophy is to suffer. What I'm saying is that
India suffer.
Don't say it's because of suffering you're not going to do it. That's my point. If it's something that is going to get you to where you need to go, don't say it's because there's suffering there, I'm not going to do it. I'm not saying you should just look for it. Suffering, I love you. No, that's not what I'm saying.
Forefather is saying, all down and die. Forefather is saying, all down and die. So let's just go and die.
That's not what I'm saying.
If that's circumstance with China, if that circumstance that I'm talking about is not with China, China will be like North Korea today. You guys, that's my analysis of China.
Pardon?
All the revolution, the way they liberated themselves and everything. If that trade deal of the 1970s with Kissinger did not happen, I'm assuming, I may be wrong, but my thinking is China may be like that of North Korea.
Okay, now let me give
you Forefather like North Korea now. Forefather love North Korea. I want us to be like North Korea.
Hold on, calm down.
Forefather want us to be like North Korea.
Let me give you the reason why that may be mistaken. Because you are missing the reason why America.
My subjection.
Because I'm sure once I say this to you, understand where I'm coming from. The reason why America went to China in the first place, if I tell you then, or if you think about it again, just think about it yourself. The reason why America went to China, the real reason. Think about it. If America didn't do it, think about what the outcome would have been. Think about it again. I give you 30 seconds more.
No,
you don't know. Okay, now let me say this. The reason why America went to China,
they will be like North Korea. They will be like North Korea.
Sorry, was to put China away from the Soviet Union. You know that was the Soviet Union.
No, I've talked about this before now. No, okay, what I'm saying.
If they didn't do that, let me finish the point. Okay. If they didn't do that, China and Soviet Union will be working together and the Soviet Union will not have failed. It's not likely to fail. And especially they will drag India along. with them because India
That's part of it.
Was an ally to the Soviet Union too. So that union would not have failed. China was a linchpin in the American plan to frustrate the Soviet Union, and they succeeded.
No,
you're right.
That is correct. No, that's not correct.
It's part of it. Okay. No. What's the reason? Let's listen to Masca.
Let me tell you what really played out. Let me tell you what really played out. The reality is that China and USSR, at some point, they were all communist countries. Yes?
Yes.
So this idea that America came to China, no. What happened was that China was learning its lesson from the USSR because communism was not succeeding. And the first place that crumbled was the USSR.
Oh, no.
Yes or no?
No, I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, so what are you saying?
Yeah, Masca, you were right, but that was not what actually happened. What happened was after the death of Stalin and Khrushchev came to power, when he came to power, he reformed the Soviet Union away from Stalinist revolutionary economic system.
Yes.
So what happened was that was in conflict with Chairman Mao's China, and there was tension. There was a huge disagreement between Khrushchev and Chairman Mao.
So that I can follow you. Take China, take USSR, let's take it to present day, then we can come back to China and do the same, so that we can't confuse us. So you are saying that USSR, when Stalin died, so continue from there.
Yes. So what happened was, after the death of Stalin, Khrushchev was his successor. Khrushchev came to power. Nikita Khrushchev, he did a lot of reform in the Soviet Union and moved away from Stalin's economic structure and system. And when that happened, that was against the interest of Chairman Mao's communist China, because Stalin's USSR and Chairman Mao's China were in close alliance. But due to the change, it led to a deviation of some of their ideological understanding or agreements. And that led to tension between Nikita Khrushchev and Chairman Mao of China.
Okay, so what I'm talking, you are talking about a philosophical issue. I'm talking practical terms. Okay, communism as an economic system. Both China and USSR at some point were all communist countries. They were socialist countries.
Yeah, during this time too, they were socialist countries.
So let me take it. So where you think you can stop me, where I go wrong, you can correct me, so that we can compare the notes and see what is going on. Okay? You want to say something of it? You want to say
finish.
No, I want to say something. Me want to say something.
Yes, I want to say something, but I want you to finish. But if you want me to say it, I will say it.
Gets priority over everybody, has been here forever. If he wants to say something,
I think a Masca.
Can I just correct Masca real quick? So what
you need to understand.
Go ahead.
What you need to understand, as at that time, China was economically, China is not a threat, right?
Yes.
The goal was to stop communist Soviet Union. Yes, even though Chinese is practicing the same economic system with Soviet Union, but Soviet Union was more of a regional threat.
What I'm saying
was a regional threat to Europe.
Hold on. Let Ovie finish. Then we can. Go ahead, Ovie.
Oh boy, people will talk to.
So, Soviet Union was a threat. Was a regional hegemonial threat. Just like what China represents today. China threat today is that it's stretching to become regional hegemony. That's why US are trying to stop. Guess what? Just like the agreement that separates Russia and China away from Russia can still happen, as we see today between Russia and China. America is working hard to separate Russia from China
Trump
as we speak.
Russia a
So
long
you have to understand who is more powerful at that time. China has no power. As it was not a threat at any point for them to say, okay, no. So comment the alignment they have with
you are right.
Sorry,
I don't disagree.
Sorry, I did something.
Before you are right. I don't disagree. What I'm saying is, before the meddling of the US, there was already tension between the communist China and Soviet Union. There was already division already. That's what
hold on. Let me just add this. I think you are emphasizing that market economy or the change in
the change.
Sorry. Let me just add something. What Khrushchev did. But remember, Khrushchev is the one that gave China the ballistic missile technology and the nuclear weapons technology that Stalin refused to give. So they couldn't have been that deviated during that time. But where they had their real difference was that Soviet Union wanted to start negotiating some kind of rapprochement with Washington. And the Chinese were not in the mood for that. The Soviet Union assured the Chinese that let's stop this nuclear program we are doing for you, because the West, as clever as they are again, they wanted to get the Soviet Union to stop China from developing a nuclear weapon. And the Soviet Union assured China that they are going to protect them under their nuclear umbrella. The Soviet Union, the Chinese were like, up yours. We are not going to rely on your nuclear umbrella. We want our own. If it comes to it, we are going to separate. And in result, there's a term that they call it, the Soviet and the Chinese, they had a break.
Sino-Soviet
split. Yeah, they call it split. So they had that split. It was very, very strong disagreement that they had. Then the Soviet Union started making a kind of nice with the West. That's when they signed all their ballistic missiles agreement and all the stuff that they did. While China went on to develop their nuclear weapon. Then, within how many years or so, in the 70s, Nixon is there, because now all the peace that they are doing with the Soviet Union didn't work out as they wanted. Nixon is in China, telling China, we are going to be nice with you. All you have to do is not be nice to Soviet Union anymore. Eventually, it worked, because it starved the Soviet Union of the diplomatic and the resources that they need. Manpower and all.
This is the point I wanted us to understand. That yes, in theory, this thing sounds nice. It sounds like that. But the reality that happened on the ground is completely different. What actually happened, like I was saying, was that these two big countries were communist countries. As a system of an economy, it wasn't working. It was not working. And till the point, forget Stalin, forget Khrushchev, come to Gorbachev.
But why do you think it was not working?
Okay, what I mean by it's not working, that yes, Russia were putting people up in space and everything, but economically, they were not, the economy was not growing.
Why do you think it wasn't growing?
Because a communist system is not a very progressive system.
That's could it be? Could it be? Let me highlight this. Could it be because the other powers?
The fact is that both Russia and China have thrown that system away.
Me want to ask one question.
So they've thrown it away, which is what we just need to know, that it didn't work for these two countries, and they have thrown it away. The point I'm making, or I want to make, is that China was very smart. They were watching all these things that were happening. Yes, it's true. America was trying to be close to China, and they started opening up. They allowed people to go and invest in China. But China had done their work. They've done their homework. They were doing, like, I think it was Jide or Dexter. Somebody mentions 10. I don't know who among the two of them. But China was very clear that, look, all this science and technology, we're going to focus on it.
Sorry about that. Kene, you need to pack before I can bring you on. You know, we care about your well-being. Yeah, Dr. Damages, your well-being is our greatest concern. So you will need to pack before.
No, you're good. I can be in the background instead of being on camera. I can still be with you guys, but I'll be on the background. I can turn on the camera.
Nice one. Thank you.
So what I'm saying, forefathers, is that, look, there's no country that decided, oh, I want to be on the good books of America. It doesn't work like that. There was an initial plan. the Marshall Plan. But the point I'm trying to make us understand is that, yes, as with any plan, when you do your plan, when in reality, when you come, as time moves on, you see that things will be unraveling. And this is where we are today. Why China is a major force now is not because there was any plan for it. America thought they were using China, but China had a clear plan. They were focused on science and technology, not to invent or reinvent anything, but they would clone and clone and clone and clone whatever they can clone. And before you know it, China today is an economic power. Economically, China is more powerful than Russia today.
Yeah. So
the point I'm making, nobody planned for China to be an economic superpower, but because they are smart.
But isn't that what I'm saying that we need to do for ourselves too? We can't.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that.
The question that I want to ask is simple, yeah.
It doesn't work like that. You know why it doesn't work like that?
Sorry, let's allow support diaspora. You know, he has been here forever.
America bullshit, America this or whatever. Look, you are not even in the same level with these countries you are even mentioning first. You are talking as if you are at the same level, but you are planning how to surpass them in terms of economic power, whatever. Leave these countries you are talking about. You understand? This
thing you are saying now, it does you self, you are not making sense. So how do we go forward if we don't understand?
Listen to me. Listen, keep quiet first and listen. Let me finish.
Pascal, it looks like you're not in a good mood today.
Just keep quiet and listen.
We should leave to people who have made progress. You can
you see your problem. Listen to me. You see your problem. You think copycat. Who did China copy? You were saying
China copy.
Just keep quiet. Just keep quiet first. You were saying something just not like China was smart. They were
Godfather, I want to say something real quick.
They were focusing on technology.
Let support the diaspora finish because he has been here for a long time. He hasn't said much. Then you can go ahead.
They were focusing on themselves. They didn't focus on any other country. Focus on themselves. Why didn't you say they should copy people? You understand? Let me tell you something. You don't understand. Listen to me. America or whatever country did not stop Nigeria from having lights 24/7. We don't have to copy any country on that first.
They have stopped.
Listen to me. Just hold on now. You talk too much. Listen, Nigeria do not need to copy any country to have good road network in Nigeria. You understand? We are even talking of stuff that has even been happening to countries before the year 2000. We have not even achieved that level of the year 2000 development first. We've not even completely achieved it. They were talking about complaining this or that, or Russia, China, whatever. Leave those people. Don't worry. Let us meet up with the labs. What we've abandoned. The year 2000 of those countries, we've not even achieved it till tomorrow. We don't have good road network in Nigeria. We are talking about China communists or whatever. Till tomorrow, we still don't have 247 lights in Nigeria. We are complaining about whatever. Till tomorrow, we don't have good electoral system or good judicial system. We're talking about copy, like we should focus on countries that I don't understand.
We have Vice President opening the door for
support the
Hold on. Do we need to copy or look at those people? Do what they are doing before we will know that one to be vice president should not go out put up on one or no white man? Do we need to copy anybody?
It's like you just.
To be fair, me, I'm not too fussed about that.
Because look, sometimes you listen to talk, you'll be like, some people we put guesses at all. Maybe that's why these countries are even taking us for a ride. You understand? Something that is closer to you, you've not even taken care of it first. You've not even taken. You're talking about a credible election 2027. But meanwhile, you've not even fixed the electoral system first. You've not fixed it. You're talking about we should.
Can I just give you an idea of what we are the context we are discussing this? Let me try to explain.
I don't understand why you are discussing.
Let me try to get you to understand it. I'm not going to take long.
It's a dire situation that this discussion will not take us anywhere yet. Let's put pressure on this. What is on ground first?
Okay,
yes,
what are we doing?
but you have to have a plan.
Let me ask you, forefather.
The plan with let's we have the focus.
I have a question.
I know
I
you
have
get
one
it. No,
question.
not yet. Not yet. Ekene has to say something.
I have one question
See,
for
no,
you.
Ekene has to say something. No, don't do that.
This is what I want to say.
Hold on. I've spoken. The Kenya has to say
As
something.
na-
Sorry.
Nigeria-
Ekene, hold on. See.
Oh
my God. See, support the hospital. Don't worry. I will let you speak as long as you want. Wait, now, Jide, stop trying to stop Wahala. See, support the hospital. The way we were discussing this is like somebody that is going to university. They're planning to go to university. They are just in maybe they are joining secondary school. They need to know the pathway to get there.
Yes.
So you have to know the path you are walking. Then you start passing the right exams.
Yeah. Listen, like I said before, I got angry by my master. Look, I said we are discussing as if we are just behind these countries. We are looking for how to plan to surpass them. We're using their footprint or whatever their method to surpass them. That's how we are discussing right now. But the reality on ground is that these guys are miles ahead. That even the year 2000 of those people, we've not even actualized it. You get my point? Like
that is true. We are aware of that, but we are not. This discussion is not based on that.
Hold on. That was my anger. I said, look, where we are right now, this is not even it. You said no, that we should forget about people are progressing. Which progress?
Support the diaspora. Your argument, the argument you are making against the discussion is almost. Think about it. People literally aspire to go to where God is in heaven while they are on earth. You are saying because we cannot make up to year 2000, we should not discuss how we can possibly surpass people. I don't understand.
Hold on. Before you aspire to where God is first, you're looking at how to read the Bible, go to church. You understand?
Exactly. You have to know the path.
Hold on. Would you first of all think of how to treat your closest human being first? How to treat them right first before you're taking
not first, because God might demand that you kill your closest human being first. You have to know the roadmap.
No, it's not a roadmap because you have to love your neighbor as yourself first before you start to go to church.
But to know that, you have to read it first.
You sorry?
You have to read the Bible to know.
You have to read it. Hold on. Listen, a comedian said something like, no religion in this life will tell you to kill your mother as a bad thing. You have to read it anyway. You know, because there's a God in you. You know that killing somebody is bad.
Just in case, Satanism might require you to do some sacrifice of a loved one. So you never know.
You are from God now. You are moving to Satan. Listen,
no, I'm telling you that there's no harm in reading a roadmap. You are arguing that we shouldn't do that.
Nobody is asking you not to. You're not getting my point. Nobody is asking you not to. My question is this: focusing on doing this roadmap, leaving your primaries. That is my problem. Focus on the roadmap, leave your primaries.
Can I explain to this man so that we can move forward?
Yeah, please go ahead.
What are you? I don't understand. I've not been listening to you guys.
Okay, so just listen now. So that's me too. I'm wondering whether you were not listening, but I know sometimes you sleep and you wake up. So
that's cool. You just smoke shisha this night.
So just to put things
my God.
The bottom line of what we are discussing is leadership.
Yep.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
That's
so hold on now. Leadership to do what now? Leadership to do what?
Leadership to reduce the price of ticket to Nigeria.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, but you guys were talking about Russia, China, communism, this and that.
Listening to us, you see, he's surprised.
Listen to me, my freaky quiet. You started from Nigeria, Africa, and Donald Trump. You talk all the whole talk. I was just listening to you guys. No problem. Let me see how this talk now will now make us now change this Nigerian mentality.
Meat day somewhere, okra day somewhere, salt day somewhere. Everything is mixed together.
Please, forefather, allow the next person to speak, Joe.
Ekene, we've never heard. I don't think I've heard from Ekene before. Ekene, are you there? You want to put your camera on, please? Yeah, welcome, Ekene. It looks like you are in a Walmart or something. I don't know. America has so many superstores like that.
Remember how many minutes you give us? Remember?
I know.
It's probably Home Depot.
Home Depot. Yeah, welcome, Ekene. You are muted. So, what do you make of the conversation so far?
No, I'm a Home Depot. I'm trying. I thought I didn't know I was muted.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm a Home Depot trying to get some plumbing and spanner so I can do some adjustment at home because something got stuck on the pipe. So I have to like you get this
We don't
pipe
need to know
adjusted.
that, bros. Make you continue, Joe.
When I ask me a question now, I dey answer.
You don't have to tell him. You don't need to know that. It's good
Yeah,
to know. Home Depot is
but
where they buy stuff like this in America. It's good to know.
you know, say some people when they do plumbing for their house, no, they like to hear things like that. Okay. So, you don't see me before now. I've been there here 2 years ago. You don't tell why I come this side last.
Okay.
That's for your channel. But this is what I want to say, right? There is a problem we have as Nigerians. We think that we have to fix certain things before we can fix the rest of the things. Yes, we need electricity, but you also can create electricity for the project where you want it. You don't have to wait for the electricity to be nationwide before you begin to create things. One thing about overseas and especially in the West, we say they create their own electricity for certain things. Like if you see like Tesla will create their own electricity. They don't really tap into the national grid. But what they will do is that when they create their own electricity, then they will provide some access to the national grid. That aside, United States never formed relationships with China because they like China. That was not what happened. They formed relationship with China because they wanted to separate China from Russia, so that way, Russia and China cannot unite together to be strong to challenge U.S. hegemony. That's number one. Then number two, when it comes to production, right? United States' intention wasn't for China to be as strong as it is today. It was China's, smartness that made them who they are today. That's number one. United States' intention was to make China that's a manufacturing hub for goods and services, but not for military technology. U.S. intention was to make United States the only country that will have credit. You see what I'm saying? They will have credit, which means they will have the financial base in the United States. Then China and the rest of the world will be a manufacturing hub for US, but without the military technology. That's why you see United States doesn't export their military to any country except NATO, and that's a NATO, their NATO allies. We have access to the US military technology like fighter jet, weapon systems. But when it comes to financial, the way they do it is that the financial will only be in the West, which is London and New York has the financial. The rest of the NATO has the military. And then China will only produce household items, electronics. That is why they are fighting China today not to have access to wherefore. Wherefore is the chip that is needed to produce what do they call it? I'm trying to chips.
Microchips.
The microchips. So yeah. Now they forced China not to have 7 nanometer. China has. They fought China not to have 5. China has it. They are fighting China not to have 3 nanometer. Now China has already produced 3 nanometer because what? The smaller the wafer that is inside the microchip, the better your system will perform to the highest defensive and telecommunication purpose, right?
When you say, are you talking about wafer or
wafer?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. That's what I'm saying. But so if you look at it this way, they said, because I've studied mechanical and aerospace in this country, they don't want anybody outside them to have access to aerospace. Would you like a weapon system? That's when it comes to defense. They don't defense and offensive purpose. That wasn't their intention with China. But what China did was after China began to have money, which America didn't know that China and Russia were actually talking while America thinking was disintegrating the two of them. They didn't really part ways. They were still talking. They were still doing things. And the reason why Russia economy fell apart was that Russia made a serious mistake. Weapon system for America, the price of it is 10 times that of China and Russia. It's far expensive here. So whereas America is creating budgets to produce weapons, China and Russia is relying on its mineral resources to pay for those weapon systems, whereas America was taxing the whole world for using dollar and taxing its people for paying taxes, and also taxing people for properties here in the United States, right? All those things are contributing for the payment of U.S. defense system. Russia wasn't doing that. And also, with all these things piled together, right, Russian economy went under. That was why Russian economy was destroyed. It wasn't because Russia couldn't, the economy, that's the communist economy wasn't good or system wasn't good. It was because of payment for weapon system was not coming from United States the way it's coming from Russia.
Sorry, can you
so that's why
Soviet Union? Are you
allow him to finish?
Are you talking about the Soviet Union or Russia?
I'm talking about Soviet Union and Russia, the same thing. But I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're talking about the same.
Yeah. But so you see what I'm saying? So that is why when you look at the system, I got to tell people this, right? Understanding the market system, capitalism is not good for market system at all. Because if you understand the in-depth of capitalism, right, you find out that capitalism will actually break your middle class, destroy your that's the lower income people, but can only make the rich people wealthy. That is why in America doesn't practice full capitalism because they know what it will do. They practice capital socialism, which means the rich people practice capitalism to make money, but when it comes to tax, they practice socialism. The government gives them the money back through the tax system. So they pay tax and the government return back the tax to them. So they're not really losing money. You see what I'm saying? So communism didn't fall because communism wasn't a good system. It fell because what? It was a rigid system.
I see. Let me add this. I think we made maybe they didn't let me, all these people, they didn't let me make my argument fully. Because that's the argument you made just now is basically the argument I wanted to make. But I wouldn't have put it in financial terms. Because for me, the reason why the Soviet Union failed was because the rest of the world had more resources at their disposal, which technically is the same argument that he's making. They have more resources. They basically control the rest of the world. They had India on their side. They had the Middle East on their side. They had most of Africa on their side. They had Central and America, even with a few of them that are Soviet leaning. But economically, most of them are still dependent on or trading with the West. So there is no way the Soviet Union was fighting a kind of very difficult struggle if China wasn't on their side. And that was why over time they decayed. It's a fact now. This is a fact.
Different. What the point this Ekene has made and what are variance.
They are at variance because you are looking at it from the point of view. He talked about taxing. I talked about resources, but it's the same thing. Essentially, they are the same thing. They have more resources at their disposal.
Can I say something about resources? Can I say something about resources?
It's about resources.
But yeah, right. So it is mentioned that, but I probably omitted, or maybe he didn't have to mention it. That at that time, Soviet Union were also in the Afghanistan trap. They were fighting a war with Afghanistan. They were expending a lot of resources, and they were isolated.
The key, one of the
that played a role in the complete destruction.
America blockaded them. If you think they blockaded Russia right now, America blockaded them.
It's wrong.
Well, I think you people are saying
that the communist system was a central planning system, and it has failed. Okay.
But China still operates communist.
China is still communist.
It's not communist.
I don't know why. They are communists, man. It's clear that they are communists. I don't know why.
China is communist now. Why are we saying this now?
Okay, so let me
explain. It's the economic part that they liberalize.
I'm trying to maybe counter what I said about it.
What China was doing and what China is doing now.
Anyway, Sha.
But thank God, no. He said Tesla. Tesla is not government.
You see,
Let's
China
not
before,
listen.
what they used to do, and the same
Let's
thing
not
with
government.
Russia, is that there is a central planning committee. They are the ones that would determine how many cars will be produced. They are the ones that would determine how many bags of rice that will be produced. That clearly was not working.
So you
So
think they
what
don't?
China
Oh,
did
sorry.
was
Do you think they don't? You think they
No,
don't do
you're
that
wrong.
in the current Western economy? They don't know how many things are going to be produced in Western economy.
Let me answer. Let me say this to him real quick, right? If you go to any production facility and you don't manage your production, like the communists, that's what makes communism great. They manage production. If you do not manage production, you create what they call waste, right?
Sorry, please put your camera on.
Okay.
I think it's, yeah,
If you go to any system, right, the reason why communism was good, remember what I said, it was just rigid. But the reason why communism is good and better than capitalism in terms of production is this: you have to monitor your production in any company. If you do not monitor your production, what are you going to have? You're going to have what they call.
That's not what we are talking about. And even you are maybe using the wrong word, but it's not about monitoring. The economic system works with incentive. You know, you can't say that, oh, okay, because we are China, we'll produce 10,000 cars. No, you have to allow some sort of incentive to tell you that, okay, this is what people want, or this is what should be produced.
But what is that incentive?
That incentive generally, normally, is pricing. When you
in other words, it's going to come from data of pricing, isn't it?
No, it's not data. That's the point. You can't run economy with data. It doesn't work.
But that is what they use to run the economy in the West.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
I'm sorry, that is what they use.
That data, okay, so maybe you're right. Data, yes, but the data is of demand, what people want.
Yeah, but that is what you think. The companies don't just make up stuff like that too. Now they get the same information.
This is what was happening. This is
Bro, that was not what happened. That is not what destroyed Russia, Soviet Union economy. Even in the West here, they would tell you what America did that destroyed Soviet Union economy was America had allies. So America was producing ammunition that other people will purchase, his allies. Okay, look at what. Let me give you an example.
I think you must have forgotten to mention the Afghanistan trap. That also
okay, but the thing is, in the Afghanistan trap is that Russia was fighting Afghanistan, right? America was actually forcing Russia, just like what they are doing right now with Ukraine, right? They were forcing Russia to fight whereas they were pushing the ammunition to the Taliban, and the Taliban bogged Russia down there for so long. But the thing that Russia did, that was disastrous to Russia, because Russia can fight you for 20 years and still come out and win and still fight another war after that, was that Russia was putting too much resource into that war. Excuse me, sir. Let me finish. That will help.
Ekene is right. Yes.
No,
so what happened? Guy, I'm talking about military strategy. If you can let me talk about military, you can understand how wars are won. So what they did was, remember, Afghanistan greatest asset is Iran greatest asset. It's called hills, mountains, and rocks, right? So it takes a lot of human capital. That is not what Ukraine has. Ukraine is far more vegetation area and more flatter. So it is a favorable thing for Russia, and also is the Russia backyard. So Russia can move weapon system to Ukraine and move out really quick without the need to have to move through seas and topographies. You see what I'm saying? So two different types of war. That's why Russia destroyed, what did they call them? Is it Sweden? When they went to war with, Switzerland and Sweden. When they went to war with Sweden, they destroyed Sweden because for 10 years, because Sweden was their backyard. That's why United States don't want to fight Iran direct, because United States has to transport all these military hardware to Middle East and have to transport them back again, back and forth. It will destroy your economy. So what I'm trying to tell you, sir, The market system.
You know about the
I'm coming. The market system didn't destroy Russia. What destroyed Russia was the military spending that destroyed Russia's economy. That is why after Afghanistan, right, Russia was messed up. But when it comes to that of their plan with China, because Russia had to go down and then absorb their military defeat, then the president that ruled them right after that was a drunk. You see what I'm saying? He was a drunk. So the drunk doesn't know nothing, couldn't run an economy. That's why when Putin came, Putin had to relax for 10 years to build back the economy. But this is what America did. This is what people don't know. When Russia fell, when the Soviet fell, America brought all these Jewish Russians, right? And gave them all these top oil and gas companies in Russia. Remember Abramovich, the guy that, the guy that Putin put in jail.
Sorry, before you go forward, you said America gave it to them, or the Russian government gave it to them.
No. America, forget about Russian government. America came and was running everything. They were telling Russia that if you do this, we will allow you into the West. If you do this, we allow you into the West. So they privatized every Russia asset.
Let's get this fact right. It was not America that privatized the Russian asset.
Okay. You don't understand what I'm saying. You don't understand what
I understand what you're saying, but the way you said it, like America privatized the Russian asset. No,
America privatized. It didn't encourage. It forced them to be part of the West. You must. When somebody tells you must, it's not encouragement anymore. It's breaking bones.
Let's get it right here. Whether somebody puts pressure on you to do something, when you do it on your own volition.
Okay. Let me tell you something, my guy. Politics is not the way you think it is. When you need something to better your economy, it's called breaking of hands, right? In politics, stick and carrot.
So, but you still do it. You are saying the same thing.
But if you don't, do you know why Nigeria is poor? They will tell you to do something. America will tell Nigeria to do something. If he doesn't do it, there are consequences. It's not volunteer. You must do it.
I'm not disputing what you're saying, but let's not miss the word in there.
You can't sugarcoat. You can't make it that unimpactable.
No, what you're saying is that America. No. Let's not drive a narrative that that suits our own agenda.
No.
Russia.
How does it suit my agenda if I'm telling you the truth? What happened?
They're saying the truth. They're saying the truth. You now said America privatized the.
Okay. Guess what? Let me finish talking. There, you can then say however you want to say it. Okay. So what America did was they told Russia, if you want to be part of the West, this is what you're going to do. You have to privatize your companies. And then they privatized it. What happened right after this guy came into power? Putin began, not right away, but began to slowly change Russia's military system. He began to build a military. When the military and the police became strong, then he went to Gazprom. He went to Abramovich because he was the richest guy in Russia. You have to take him down first. So they took him down in 2003. By 2004-05, he went to jail, right? The whole West went nuts. But he had to keep doing that, and then he began to dismantle all those guys that are heading all those private companies. And then he nationalized it. That was how Gazprom was born. So when Gazprom was born, he took that was how Russia was able to take care of its economy. Then from there, by 2007, the West was calling Russia a country. They were calling Russia a gas station with no military.
Yes, so this guy that said it. I forgot he's dead
It
now.
was John McCain. John McCain.
John McCain.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when that was said, and Joe Biden too, two of them said it. So when that was said, right? John McCain went to Georgia to get the Georgian president that they put there through coup to do the American bidding. Russia invaded.
Under George Bush, yes.
Under George Bush. So you see how they began to build their military. They began to build it back with full speed. The same market system, but what they did, you remember I said that the communist system was rigid because they didn't allow room for some form of capitalism to come in, right? So Putin then introduced that form of capitalism, not because Russia needed it, but that's what they need in order to be part of Europe.
I've been waiting for you to finish, but clearly you may.
I'm done. Go ahead, sorry about that.
Really appreciate
the problem,
you said.
the problem you are having in your analysis, Ekene, is your starting point. You can't start Russian history, especially when you're talking about communism, and you start with Putin. Okay?
That's true.
If you really want to have a good understanding of the communist system and what it really was, you have to go back to East Germany. I'm beginning to suspect that maybe you people are hearing East Germany for the first time.
I'm not hearing East Germany for the first time.
Okay, so if anybody understands East Germany, then he should not come here and say that.
He wasn't talking about the issue of communism. What was talking about was what caused the destruction of the Soviet Union and how Russia was built back.
No, but what
I'm not talking about how Russia was built back. I'm talking about the fact that China and Russia were communist countries at some point.
Yes, you're right, Maska.
Okay,
right.
And I'm saying that the communist system was not working because there was what is called the Iron Curtain.
Yes, there's the Iron Curtain. Yes, you are right.
People were jubilating in 1989 with hammer, they dismantled the Berlin Wall.
That was the Eastern Germans and the Baltic states. In Kazakhstan, they were not happy.
East Germany, listen.
I don't know if they were happy.
Just listen. Anything from East Germany, going to Poland, all these Romania, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, to the Soviet Union, all these countries were communist countries. Nothing was working.
I'm not sure if nothing was working, but they were happy. They didn't like
nothing.
It was not working.
It was not working.
It was not. No, it was not.
It's not working. Can
I talk about it?
Next time,
let me talk about it.
Let them talk what they don't understand. They don't.
I understand. I get what you're saying. Honestly, what I'm saying is the Baltic states, how they became incorporated into the Soviet Union.
It's not Baltic state. Don't use the word. East Germany is not a Baltic state.
But Poland, Estonia, Romania, they are all Baltic states now.
No, East Germany is not a
Baltic state. East Germany is not a Baltic state, but Poland. I'm not talking about East Germany now. East Germany
Poland is not a Baltic state.
Poland was a Baltic state. Poland was a Baltic state. Estonia, Mama,
Lithuania,
and even Hungary, all of them, they're all Baltics. They're all Baltics.
Jide, was Yugoslavia a Baltic state?
Yes, it was.
Yugoslavia was a Baltic state. Everything other than East Germany. But let me, my brother, you where they talk, right? I want to. There's something that you said that I didn't say.
Ekene, you spoke now, we listened. What I'm trying to tell you is that communism was not working. A communist system was a command system. It was not working in Eastern Germany. It was not working in Russia. It was not working in China. And a clear evidence is that all these countries abandoned it. They don't do it.
But China still adopt communism. Vietnam still adopt communism.
And also, let me add this: North Korea is communist today. It's a form of special North Korean one. It's communist and to an extent, Cuba is still socialist.
Cuba is under blockade. The American
I think the argument is about. I think what we are arguing about here is about whether capitalist system versus socialist system. The truth is that all systems will work if they have the necessary space.
That's not true. But forefather, don't say that. Some systems
no, brother. No. You're making a mistake. There is nothing like a communist market. What they have is socialist market and capitalism market. Communism was a government, not a market.
Yeah, that is true. That's another one.
Yeah, communism is communism or democracy.
I think what they are referring to is about who controls the means of production, and the fact that communist or socialist states insist on people remaining in certain areas. You know, the freedom of movement is not the same as you will have in a normal Western capitalist systems. So this is what people are arguing about. But for me, people they have different systems in the world.
For me, it's not really an argument. I'm just trying to make a point that. Going back to what you were saying about suffering, I'm very clear that if you look at China, what China did, technically they had a system that was not working. And then they started deciding that, okay, let's pay attention on science and technology. That plus the fact that America was trying to support them in a way so that they can put some gap between them and Russia. That helped China because they had a clear plan, and they took advantage of that. They were looking at.
Do you acknowledge that?
No, you are not right at all, brother. You are not right. This is fallacy, completely fallacy.
Let me just ask him. You want to put your camera on, can you please? So you want to acknowledge the fact that the Chinese embraced technology even before they encountered the Americans in the 70s. They built their nuclear weapon by 1965. I think that's when they first tested it. So they were technologically oriented. They were chasing it because they knew they had to. As a matter of fact, Mao Zedong said it that they have to survive if they want to survive. If they don't do this, they are.
If you ask me, forefathers, my personal philosophy about China is that they did not focus more on what people are today thinking they focus. China focused more on economy.
What?
Forefather, please, can I say this thing off camera? Let me say this off camera, please.
You're not allowed to do that. It's a problem. It's a rule here. It wouldn't be fair on the others to be able to speak without camera on. So if you can go back and come back.
Okay.
Don't be driving.
I'll jump in the background while you guys talk.
You want to do Ojoro?
I wanted to say something. Just a fun fact. About so Yugoslavian countries are Balkan countries. They are not Baltic. I mixed it up.
So.
Yeah, I think the Baltic ones are Estonia, Latvia.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah, Latvia.
I had to look it up. Yeah, while you are discussing it, even. So, but the argument is, personally, I don't care too much about economic ideology.
What has made China today what it is, forefathers, is the strength of its economy, and they planned it. They were very careful. Let me tell you the stages China went through. First, China started by trying to, I can't remember who said it. They were like the manufacturing hub of the world, but they were very clear. We manufacture, we export. But today, China has developed its internal economy. If you stop importing from China, China will still economically be strong.
So now let me ask you, what makes you think?
Let me ask one question here. This talk that we talk about here, nuclear capital, I believe the time when India and China, where they were still backward, far behind where they are right now. Yeah, the people who were saddled with this kind of talk, talking about capitalism, the future, this and that, were the government. The government engaged people talking about that, and the people, the electorate, what their business was to make sure they hold the government accountable to do what they were supposed to do, so that the government will in turn think brainstorm how to beat China, or how to beat China, or don't make a mistake of Russia, or whatever have you, or how to be self-independent or receive a from America. You understand? But like I said, I will still say it again. We as electorate supposed to be concerned about what the government have not done, how to hold them accountable first, to enable the government, have this mentality of what you are discussing right now. To say, okay, yes, we should copy this and that. And by thinking in that line, they will first of all try to fix what they've not fixed for years. You understand? Thereby allowing people to hold them accountable, and before you know, the people will have their back and they will do what they want to do. But as it is right now, my anger is with Nigerians said, like, with this talk that we talk, it's interesting, fine. But true to God, it won't take us anywhere, and that is my anger.
No, don't be angry.
We are not even in,
you have been an old man in this. You've been joining this panel. You know that this is the late night panel.
No,
this
see, just look, Master, listen. Master, listen. Look, maybe you will find out why black communities or black countries are always like this. Maybe it's time to ask why. You understand? Because of
when the first session, normally you will see that they are only abusing government.
Master, listen. If we put our energy in abusing government in part 1 and part 2, we talk about something that will not hold the government accountable. Will we die if we convert part 2 or part 3 or part 4 to make sure we put all our energy together and hold government accountable so that we will just leave this place?
No. I don't agree. Part 1 should hold government accountable. We are the intellectual part.
Which you intellectual for what nonsense? Are you part of the government?
Let's
are you part of the government?
Let's settle this.
Mask can come with trouble.
I agree. Which the nonsense?
We are just fighting constantly.
I want to agree with
somebody has my said anytime you come, you don't start a fight. You always have a fight with somebody.
Listen. Look, there's a reason why whenever they want to start this show, they'll first of all put some what's trending ahead. You understand? Like, these are the deficits of government, where government has erred, this and that, where government is lacking. There's a reason for that. That will now be the foundation of what we're supposed to talk about to lift the country forward.
Support the diaspora voting. What you're saying is valid. But one thing I want to raise is that haven't you noticed that every week it is the same trending thing that the government is not doing? Don't you notice it?
Okay, then. Okay, fine. Then, let me ask you now. Don't you think
there's a root cause? There's a root cause.
Don't you think that it's because we hold on now? Don't you think that it's because we, the electorate, is also being docile, not holding accountable? That's why they are doing the same thing every time. Don't you think so? That we being docile, we not doing the right thing that we're supposed to do.
All these things that we're talking about on the show, if the regular Nigerians know it, there will be a revolution in Nigeria.
Sorry?
All these things I've talked about, that forefathers talk about, on our politics, I talk about. If an average Nigerian walking on the street knows, understand this basic stuff that we talk about, there'll be revolution in Nigeria.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, when you say we scholars,
listen,
go and be part of the government and say these things like this. Now we say okay, but we smoke, you smoking, go smoke cigar, finish, drink. Oh yeah, come, be talk. And yet the people they die for backyard. That is what is worrying me. You understand? The people that were talking like this in China, they were part of the government. People that were talking like this in India, they were part of the government. The electorate like you and I, their job was to hold.
That's why I keep saying that. That's why I keep saying
that. You are debasing the value of the discussions we are having.
The discussion will not make sense. How many times have we talked about this years and years and years?
I listen to you. You should listen to me. There is value in what you are saying, that we should hold government accountable. But my experience is that the first part of this show, and all the people that join here can attest to that fact. Even you know. But because I know you sometimes, now so they do. You know, you will pretend you don't know. But you know that if it is holding government accountable, if it is insulting government, part 1, if that is what you are looking for, don't shake your head, just listen.
Insult government for what? What do you want to insult government for? Yeah, he will come with anything for your body.
Yeah, but they do now. He's just explaining what happens in the first this thing, live streams.
And some of us support that. Some of us believe that the problem with Nigerian government, let's be specific, the problem is beyond them. There is something deeper. If you remove Tinubu today and you put forefathers, the problem will still be the same. And it is important, therefore, to ask ourselves, why is it that we've had different leaders and we're still having the same problem? And there is no harm if the discussion is now.
But you know the answer.
Wait,
no, but you know the answer. You know the answer.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. If I know the answer and I can bring the solution,
support diaspora voting. If people of Nigeria know these things I'll talk about, they understand it, they would be better informed to vote for the right candidates in Nigeria.
Now, my brother, listen, yeah, it's easy. Everything is called psychology. You understand? You can see today, I think they were showing some kids in the street today playing football while the local government election in Lagos was going on. You understand? When Vanguard journalists went on street to interview them, what was their response? That the government is has killed their future. That they don't have hope. The government has killed their future. They don't have hope. You understand? But those kind of people now, do you think telling them about capitalism or what Russia did?
You
support diaspora voting in Latin America. An average farmer in Latin America, in Bolivia, they know this is what I'm talking about.
I have learned a lot today.
They know about capitalism.
In these discussions.
We may be using other English. We may be using other English.
I deal with Nigeria.
Bolivia, an average farmer knows.
I deal with Nigeria. I know the Bolivia. I deal with Nigeria.
Bolivia and Nigeria, what's the difference?
All right. So Maska was saying that he learned some things, and we all have, and I think there is nothing wrong with saying some of the things we are saying, even to Nigerians in Nigeria, because there are Nigerians with high bandwidth that can understand these things. I've spoken to them. I know young Nigerians. If you talk about this stuff to them, you'll be surprised how coherent they are about these things. Some of them, they may not know about it, but the way they take it further, you'll be surprised how good they are. So it's not inconceivable that these things matter to them. Sorry. Let me finish what I'm saying. Because if you are able to convey these ideas to them coherently, then they will be able to convey it further on the ground. Because it's one thing to know what happens locally, but it's also vital to understand what happens on the macro level. Because if you do, it gives you an insight into what you need to change locally.
You see, what you're saying will work. If a large chunk of the youth is not even part of Nigerians' problem, as in working pari passu with the government, if a large chunk of the youth is not even...
So at this point now, what is it that you are saying, support diaspora? What exactly are you saying?
Say, look, it's easy. It's not rocket science, yeah? Nigeria right now is bastardized to the largest extent. If it's only the elite that is a problem now, they say, okay, maybe the youth will work up on this and that. But this damaged elite now, what they are doing, has now trickled down to youth now. That youth don't have future of how government work anymore. They don't know. The only type of way they know how government works is what they are seeing right now. That's why many of them are even working the same way with the way government is doing right now. Many of them just believe that's how it works.
And so what is this point?
Now, the future I'm talking about now, many of you youths that believe this how government work don't even know better.
I hear what you are saying.
So the few of us, hold on now, the few of us now that think we know better, not to say, okay, fine, and start talking about this Russia or communism, whatever.
That's not why the
government don't understand.
This is not where the discussion started. Forefather asked me a point-blank question. What should we do about tourism in terms of the cost of ticket? How is it so?
And that was a very practical. We are trying to find practical solutions. Actually,
hold on. Before you even went to that before you asked that, I was here listening to you. You were even talking about what you say, like somebody said something about tourism coming to Nigeria, and you're missing about if nothing but for the culture. For us, not even culture. There are many places that will sell as tourism, will sell out in tourism in Nigeria. Not even culture. What's culture? Many
culture. No. We have festivals, all kinds of things. Man, I've seen this in my. I've seen this, man. I've seen this in Nigeria.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. Culture. I'm talking about places, not even. You're talking about event. I'm talking about places, sites that will sell out. Not even waste culture. So like, there's also the thing is the idea of money. Why the ticket is much? It's obvious for others. These people have. I don't understand. Probably they've hold Nigerian government hostage, or they've hold them so I don't understand that.
So this is said, okay. Hold on. You see that statement you made that I don't understand.
Which one?
This you just made a statement now that you don't understand.
They hold the people. You don't understand how they do it.
No, when I say hold on, when I say I don't know, when I don't understand why they agree. Not that I don't understand who they hold them hostage. Why they agree? Like why would they just okay? Let me give you an instance right now. You said five presidents went to see Trump, yeah, and you're angry. Many of them were just telling Trump like the same slave mentality. Come and take. You're not even thinking of how you want to self-develop. You understand? The one that even try to speak English, fluent English that Donald Trump is used to. Donald Trump is even shaming the guy. Oh, really? You can speak this English? Like, I don't understand. Like, how this is really looking at us Africans or dark-skinned people that's not living in America, that we thought we're speaking the Buhari type of English or the Tinubu type of English or the South Africa type of English. That's how all Africans sound. So anybody that you see that sounds little American is like, wow, 21st century. Do you understand? And you were angry that why should other like Gabon whatever? I think they should have hold their grounds. Even Jagun even mentioned like that is nonsense. That how can you talk down on us with that you are president, we are president? You get my point? So I don't think, like I understand all your statement, all where it came from, tourism, whatever. My anger is this, yeah. Yes, all these are there. My problem is look, there's a problem that is a rot, a cancer, a rot in Nigeria right now. That even after these useless leaders leave, the next people that are going there we still do the same thing.
I think I hear what you're saying. Hold on. Let me respond to that, please.
Those people
let me respond to that because I think to an extent I hear what he's saying. I think I've tried to address the same point because of some of my personal experiences in Nigeria itself. What I found in the Nigerian youth. You were mentioning about the youths today. Many of them are enabling what is happening in Nigeria today because of the mindset, because they've taken some of the stuff the leaders are doing on. It may even be worse than that. Because it's almost as if Nigerians have created their own culture now, whereby it's about.
But that's what Jagun was saying now. That's what Jagun was saying. It's a cultural issue.
Yeah. So where they feel like if it's just about getting ahead, somebody wants to get ahead, it doesn't matter what they sell. They will betray anybody to get. That's why you see some people use family members for money ritual or all kinds of stuff, because they are willing to do anything for anything these days. And for me, what I see within Nigerians is that they don't even know sometimes. Like they will tell you that I'm not going to do this. I promise you this is not going to happen, but they will do it anyway. So sometimes I actually believe they don't even understand the forces that are driving them. Like fully well, this person is not going to live with. They're not going to live up to the word they are assuring you about. But they will assure you and believe. And these are church-going people that actually believe that they do the right thing in the world. But in reality, they will still betray you the same way in Nigeria because of that thing about I have to get ahead. It doesn't matter the damage I leave behind. And no matter what you do, that thing is a big problem. I don't know how you can exercise that behavior. You have to have somebody from outside maybe come to exercise it, because either a catastrophic event occurs to the country that reshapes the people, something like a revolution, or somebody comes from outside. Often these people that cause revolution tend to come from outside, like the Bolsheviks, the Communist Party. I don't even know where those ones came from, to be fair. But many of them come from outside.
Sorry. Look at, I think, was it? Okay, I don't know if Damage played the video today, where two boys, you understand, kissing the picture of Bola Tinubu from two boys from Edo State.
I saw that.
Okay, and one of those boys did a video, I think 3 or 4 days ago before that video, warning anybody, like if you post any other party picture, you understand, in the Benin City, that the candidates of that party and the person that posted it, in fact, that person we will see Pepe. You understand? Now, that boy is not up to 40 years. And there are many psychopaths like him. You saw them now, not mind them, Okpehbolo, or talking do this and that, just be doing hype men. Now imagine how many hype men youths are like that. They are getting peanuts, so they will say, they'll believe they are getting something crumbs from it. But now look at the mentality of how as like so the youth have not degenerated to that level that they will not become hype men, sacrifice for government. They don't even do hide anymore. In fact, the one that MC Olomo was doing it, he was doing it with sense. Okay, codedly. But now these boys are coming out now. British are futures, nothing they happen. Like psychopaths, see me, see you. These boys are not even up to 40 years. And how many of them do we have in states? 1 state, 2 states, 3 states, the whole 36 states? How many? That you see a governor deliberately putting suffering on you people, and youth will still be there cheering them up. So that is my fear, that this youth, they don't know better.
But isn't that the same? Isn't that a little bit? This may be a global event actually, because if you look at the West too, they have that problem where people morality has flown through the window. To an extent, morality is a question that a lot of people are asking in the West too. I don't know about integrity. Most people in the West still holds on to integrity, but morality has gone down.
Fathers, if you look at TikTok in Nigeria, the content is based on avarice. But if you go and check some, maybe an Asian, even American, Indian, there's content, there's knowledge. I know there is a major problem.
But when you were talking about all this whatever ballistic missile, like you would think I don't understand, like God, Jesus Christ.
No, but you see,
we should be in the year 2000 first, and let's be millennium first, 2000 first, before we start thinking, because the mindset don't damage. How can in 21st century?
I have to die your perspective, support diaspora.
Sorry?
It's because you're assuming that everybody would talk like that. But the truth is that there are people who, just like you now, you don't want this discussion. You don't like
this. Now you're getting me wrong. Look, I've contributed several times, even when Father was talking about security, this and that. I've done that several times. My problem, even when Father was talking about employing more people, the problem I have with him is like, you are employing more people to a system that is rot. That even if you employ those people, the rottenness of that system will also corrupt them. There's no need. Let's fix that system first. Let's cure that cancer first, so that when you bring more people, then that pure cancer or pure health system will overshadow everybody. But if they are rot in decay, bring 1 million soldiers, they'll still do the same thing. You understand? The Nigerian system they're talking about, where you say government in they come, they go, is
nothing wrong with talking about it.
Sorry?
But there's nothing wrong with talking about it.
I'm not saying, I'm not saying, look, talk about it. Yeah, I'm not saying it, but like the focus, my brother, should be more of like, okay, look, this talk we're talking right now, okay, this government that is coming, okay, now imagine Bola Tinubu, he just did 2 years, in fact, less than 2 years, he started campaigning for 2027. As in, like, I don't understand. Okay, now, instead of us to be like, bro, what you don't do so far to show, say, you want to compete for 20? Now, what have you done? Like, this is even getting worse. Where we left him and we're talking about,
you see, support diaspora. This is you've just hit the nail right on the head. You know why the man is. I know why he's contesting now. I know why he's interested not in governance but in campaign. So I cannot sit down knowing what I know.
At the end of the day, what I know for sure is that if Nigerians are informed, things will change in Nigeria. If Nigerians are informed about all these things we talk about, others, me, on our politics, these things that we talk about. If Nigerians understand this basics,
what basics are you talking about?
Even if they understand, they see money, they will change.
I want one question. Do you think everybody in China, everybody in India, not even everybody, has like half percentage, more than 50% of their population? Not even 50%. Do you think 30% or 40% of their population know what we're talking about? Like, do you think they care about what this thing? I'm talking about China and India.
Your question,
China.
When
when
they were developing,
question is wrong.
I can say
The
with
question you
confidence
should
that they
ask
know
is,
it.
does people in China
Chinese,
or India know what we are
Russians,
talking
their
about? Do they
youth,
know it? Are
do you
they
think they're like our
no,
Nigerian youth?
no, Maska. My question is,
They know basic geopolitics. I used to
no,
watch.
hold on, no. China was poor before. India was very poor. China was very poor. Yeah, when their government, when they were going forward, when they were planning going forward, all of them were going forward. Yeah. We have majority of them trying to hold their government accountable. My question to you now is: this talk we are talking right now, when you say if Nigerians know what we're talking about, it will go better. Do you think 30% of the population are versed with this stuff? No, it will stop men who were willing to make the country work. Not everybody.
Do you know Chinese
Not
history?
everybody. It was the
you know Russia?
fewer
You don't
people.
even mention India. India is not a good example.
Sorry, let me ask you a question.
Do you know Chinese history and Russian history?
Sorry?
Gide, let us talk.
I'm actually there. I'm trying to explain to some of the diaspora. I'm trying to explain to him that that 30%, without that 30%, at least that 30%, the revolution in Russia and China would have never been successful.
That 30%, we're in government. Hold on. That 30%, we're in government.
That's the point.
We're involved in government.
I understand what you're saying. Support the diaspora.
It's clear
there
now
were people
that
that resisted
and educate you.
but they were defeated. Thanks to the oppression of
my point here. I want to say something.
Forefather, before you say something, before you say anything again, I never speak for a while. But I believe in the time that I've been quiet, it's time that we moved on to why is there an Igbo king in Ghana to broadcast? Because here we are going round and round, or we took all kinds.
I'm not sure that one is going to help us out.
No, it won't help us. I guess.
But I think what Jide was saying about sensitizing people does help. It kind of lubricate the path for change makers to actually be able to, because to make change, you need people to believe. You need people to execute. Leaders are not on their own. There are people that make their visions come true. You have to have people that buy into it. At least a threshold number has to buy into it for that to happen. And I think there is something to be benefited by people on the ground understanding these things. Like, okay, let me say this one. I don't think most of the media in Nigeria bothered to ask the president that, our GDP was 400 something billion a couple of years ago. Now it's this thing. How you just have more than half our GDP.
You see,
they don't bother asking critical questions.
You see,
if
journalists with the opportunity cannot even ask that question, maybe they don't even know. Assuming if they cannot ask the question,
I don't know whether they don't even know. It's a bit scary. If they don't know, it's a bit scary because the data is out there online.
This is my problem. What you're talking about is very important because those so-called journalists in Nigeria, they were trained by the Western media, by Western NGOs to propagate Western political ideologies.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yes, they are.
Listen,
when you want to say those sort of things, you know what I'm going to encourage you to say is try to speak in English, because when you sound like this, they will just say you are talking crazy. There's some truth to what he's saying.
The white people will tell our journalists, don't ask your people serious questions.
My brother,
no, there is a way they do it though. They own the media in Nigeria. I didn't know that people own the media in Nigeria,
Forwarders, that is a big lie, sort of.
No, they said the Nigerian media, by and large, is owned. Even the one that you see Nigerians in the front, that behind it is owned by this thing. There was a name that they gave, a Western guy that owns it.
The theory I will agree, forefathers, is that look, the white people have impoverished us so much so that even our journalists, they are hungry people. So when they are asking their question, they are simply looking for their brown envelope.
Exactly.
Okay. See, imagine. Okay, now imagine Wike will call media house, we say media pally. I've never heard any of these journalists asking Wike about the development of Abuja. Why is it lacking here? Why? They all of them, both Abati, all of them, maybe Ojide with whatever, with Benga Ruleba. They always go there and be asking them about this PDP and APC matter.
No,
Why do you think our media platforms, why do you think they are anti-AES? Why do you think all of them, they are unifyingly against the Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger movement? Do you think it's a coincidence?
Probably because
do you think it's a coincidence?
Probably because the only thing I see what is the problem of Nigerian media is this year, media houses, is because the people who make the rules for them is controlled by the government, which is the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, NBC.
The Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation is controlled by the NGOs. That's what I'm telling you, bro.
Sorry, by NGOs.
NGOs, not governmental organizations. They are vestiges of the CIA. I'm telling you something.
Okay, hold on. So when the NGOs who do this so-called NBC right now, so it's not government that is telling them to sanction TV houses, media houses, not government. It's the NGOs that is telling them to sanction them.
They work with the government. Don't you get it? They actually work with the government.
My brother, we have statutes. My brother, we have statutes in Nigeria that created NBC. You get my point? There's a statute in Nigeria that created NBC.
What diaspora? You are now calling statute. Is Nigeria a country that follows its rules?
No, bang.
I was not born when NBC was created. What
I understand that now?
One. What I understand that now? The way
things to say NGO now get NBC. No,
I'm not saying, oh goodness. I'm not. I don't know.
Okay, so that we can change to another topic. So that we can move to another topic. I think
it's controlled by NGOs. That's what I know. I don't know if they.
So we can move to another topic. I think I wanted to share this video about North Korea. The reason why I'm sharing this video is because narratives are very, very powerful. When somebody creates a narrative and they keep repeating it for people, and people just believe it without checking, then you miss this thing. I watched this documentary by Johnny Harris. He's a YouTuber, has a lot of subscribers. It's well known, and we are going to be reacting to what he presented in this show, documentary that he did about what's actually happening in North Korea. So that's the topic. But at the end, I didn't want to cover the entire thing. Just at the end, to a summary of what a North Korean defector said about the nation that he defected from. Clearly, he was running just like us from Nigeria. So that's what he said. Let me just play that.
And just kind of have a happy life.
Despite all the horrors of this place, there are wholesome, meaningful traditions and rituals that still endure. The Lunar New Year, or the Harvest Festival, brings people together to celebrate. The extreme poverty limits their feasts, but they often consist of homemade alcohol, simple rice cakes, and something poverty and totalitarianism can't totally take away, which is community, the nourishment of relationships. As we've seen, most people can't really move around in the country, so they stay in one place, which defectors have reported leads to a sense of intimacy and connection with the community they live next to. They lean on each other, they survive because of each other, they celebrate together, and they seem to find meaning despite all the limitations and all of the control. One defector went so far as to say, everything was suffocating and pitiful in North Korea, but it is a country that I have many positive memories from. So if someone asks me, what is North Korea like? I say, North Korea is a nice place with plenty of love.
And that's, I think, one of the things that's often forgotten when we look at because people having a happy life is not newsworthy, but a military parade or a nuclear test or a missile launch or something is newsworthy.
Yeah. So just leaving you with a reminder that there's more to this country than the horrible realities that we've seen here or that we often see on the news. If you want a deeper look on this angle of the country, there's a book called Nothing to Envy, which is a great human level account of life in North Korea. So thank you all for being curious with me as we looked at this map to understand more about this secretive country.
So that is the country. The reason why I thought I should share that is because people don't see behind all the headlines and all the craziness that they say is going on. even if that country is restraining people, but you hear how they are saying that restriction that is there, it doesn't take away their ability to have community. They still, it gives them a lot of happiness. It gives them meaning, which is very, very interesting. Because one of the things we complain about in the West is that we don't know our neighbors. Everybody's doing their own thing, and there's no sense of community in the
even
West.
here in America,
and they are all fighting to get it back.
What you said is very important, because even here in America, that is the wealthiest country, land of freedom, there's so much isolation, drug addiction,
loneliness,
opioid. I mean, so what kind of, I don't even understand.
It's even a thing, you know. They call it what do they call it? I think Jagun, you may have heard about that loneliness, this thing that they talk about in the UK. It's a big thing. They literally have to send people out to go and talk to people because of loneliness in the UK here. But in that kind of situation, you're not going to get it.
Now on the NHS. It's on the NHS where people, not nurses, but people who are within the medical field are sent out to people's homes, old people generally, to communicate with them and make them be alive, as it were. You see, what it is fundamentally, what we, because of intellectualism, at times, it separates us from our humanity. When we speak about North Korea, we speak about it in terms of the polity, not in terms of these people are human beings. I think the worst thing in the world is the Palestinian question, where in real terms, if you listen to Western news, they don't take them as human beings at all. They don't include, if you really listen to what they say, they don't see them as human beings. They don't see them as people, right? And unfortunately, in the West, the level of isolation, the level of ignorance, it's you know, a lot of people in this country are committing suicide, loneliness and things like this. And that's how politics and economy is very, very powerful. It can separate people. It can separate family homes, let alone, you know, just communities. Family homes are divorcing themselves through disagreement of politics and economy. I'll say that.
Thank you. Who else wants to respond to the video if there's any response at all? Let me get this link to Kenny.
I think what capitalism has done is that's created a lot of, because we live in capitalist systems, right? And I think, capitalist and liberal systems. And I think what it has done, it has created alienation. Like, I'm not making this up. I've read about capitalism and this liberalism, individualistic life that we live in the West. And that's created a lot of alienation. And from that video, what I learned is the complete opposite. They have genuine connection, genuine love. It's not what I can get from you. Circumstances have made everybody to come together. You know, I'm not saying this is perfect. I'm not also saying here in the West, we are not having positives. But if you look at those things that I saw in that video, there are things that people in the West are lacking. You understand? So I need to go and watch that documentary.
The infrastructure they have in that country, they have roads that no cars are driving because people are not moving around too much. They build things, like most of these things they build, they are not even using it. It tells you that society, sometimes we overstretch some of the things we need if we try to simplify things. They build so many things. They said you hardly see people in the country because in the map you can check time frames in the map to see what you are seeing on the satellite images. And the only time you see people is when they are gathered together. Suddenly you see people gathered together, the next they are all disappeared again. I don't even know whether they are living underground. And many of their infrastructure is underground. You know, they are preparing for war at any time. So most of their infrastructure is underground. And the country is designed to defend itself against America because they fought America before, and America destroyed 80% of the structure of that country. So they don't want to repeat the same mistake again. Chemical plants, some chemical plants, even in the country, they put it underground, some things underground, because they don't want a situation where somebody just comes overnight and just blow it up and they go away. So many things that we take for granted, this country has corrected for it because they know what it's like.
Forefathers, my take on this. I know you like things like this, but I
like it because it ensures our survival.
Okay, no, you see, my perspective is this. This thing that Dima is saying about North Korea, are you aware that Nigeria is the happiest country on earth?
That was a long time ago.
Well,
exactly.
Not more than 10 years ago.
At least.
See, happiness is one of those feelings.
No, forefathers. So don't wash it. What I'm saying is the same way they are saying that in North Korea, people can support each other. There's this, there's that. I am in Nigeria. I can tell you that today, I know how many people I've supported. And it's not a big deal for me. It comes from the depth of my heart because I know people support me. If I have an issue, my house will be flooded with people. Forget about the fact that as we gather, NEPA will take light. That notwithstanding, people will come. I mean, people are happy. Let me talk about.
But Baska, you are living by the reasons the North Koreans, they say that they have that happiness. You live by a community. I can see that you are the kind of person that will have a network of community. I must say, maybe even Northerners do it more. And many Nigerians do it by and large. They still have a community, though less in Lagos, of course, and many other major cities. So, but what we are talking about here is like the kind of stuff we have in the West, and that's the direction Nigeria is traveling. As a matter of fact, Japan, they are losing their mind. People are committing suicide in Japan because of it.
It's just that I totally agree, Fofa. But what I'm saying, I'm trying to put things in perspective.
Okay.
That there's nothing special about North Korea.
Yeah, maybe not.
Because Nigeria,
that underground is special though. But
no,
go ahead.
what I'm saying is
I
that
think there's a
Nigeria,
lot special about North Korea. I think there's a lot special actually. But go on. When is my turn?
All right. So you think that is all I'm saying, as far as forefathers' perspective of specialty is concerned, I think the same issue I have with Zimbabwe is the same issue I have with North Korea. Okay? Because you as a leader, you take to a position and you hold on to it. Life should not be like that. It's a give and take. It's not a big deal that North Korea is defying the whole world. I won't give them a medal for that.
So, but sorry, if somebody says, give me your heart, and then they say they will give you their fingernail, would you agree to that kind of trade?
I don't know whether you are married or not, but I've given my heart. I've given my heart to somebody. I've given my soul to somebody. This is the beauty of life. You have to open up.
Yeah, but they are looking to open up, but the other side wants to take their head. What are you going to do?
Look, even the America, the honest truth, even you this night have said it. Those that have aligned with America are better off for it. You can't tell me that if they give you choice to go to North Korea or South Korea, that you choose to go to North Korea. You know you'll be lying to me.
No. See, the point I'm making is that both sides have their points. The reason why America went after North Korea was because they were communists. No, they went after them because they were communists. That's their differences. So they had differences.
It's not as simple as that, forefathers.
No, it was an ideological war.
Even this night, I've said it. All the communist countries in this world have abandoned communism. Why can't North Korea do it?
Why should they do it?
Because they can't be better than every other person.
No, see, don't you understand what they are doing? Sorry, I'm coming. I know you want to come in. See, try to understand what they are doing. I'm trying to get you to see the picture, the bigger picture here.
I can't see where North Korean leaders are taking
okay, forefathers. I'm coming. You're in that cycle. You're not going to let anybody.
I'm going to let you speak. I'm going to let you speak.
Yeah, you're in that cycle.
You are interrupting me now. Sorry, please. The point I'm making is that if the North Koreans allow the Americans to get their way, then you could have a problem where you have a configuration between two nuclear powers, China and the Americans. Or let's say America succeeds, destroys China. Do you know what you get next? Because the last time America became a hegemony, when they were at the height of their power, I don't see the world looking like a flowery place. It was hell on earth. As a matter of fact, even for the Americans too, Americans had a better life at the height of the Soviet Union. The wealth gap, that this same John Harris made a video about it. And he said during that period, if you look at it, correlates with the rise of Reagan and all the rest, the wealth of the working people in America stagnated, while the wealth of the rich went up. So if you say everybody should just cut out to America and that's going to solve the problem, then you are not seeing the direction where things are going to go in the future. I acknowledge openly that right now, the people America is trading with, they are not doing that badly. But it doesn't mean it's going to remain like that.
Yeah, well, look, I think we made this point a few weeks ago. You played that video, and it's good to see you guys.
Not this video.
I have to just jump in to have a say here. So, the reason I have a different opinion, mostly from many things. I think Maska kind of said my mind, surprisingly. And, I think that...
What do you mean by surprisingly?
Well, that's okay.
Educate me.
No, I meant that, usually we'll have different opinion, but I think we totally align, in what you said. The idea, I think this video is very deceptive. The video you played about North Korea, and, I think it kind of can corrupt the mind of the audience to feel that there is all this utopia about North Korea and isolationism. In Nigeria, if you go to my village, people are very, very happy. When you go to them in their little space, they're very happy. It doesn't mean that they're economically, like if they have, let's say, chest pain and they have, coronary artery disease, they're going to die, but they're happy. But these things are treatable. They may just have a pneumonia, and someone will come and sprinkle some medicine on them, and they still die. This is what we're trying to. So North Korea, of course, they are happy. They have no choice. You can't take away that from them. Even in war, people, they still, in Gaza, you still see some people smiling around. If you go to see kids playing, they still have family, at least, but you can't say, oh, because there's some joy. Don't you miss Nigeria? Most of us have this idea that we want to go back. We all miss Nigeria. But I keep saying most of the time, we're like, in exile, people in exile here. It's not like what we left behind.
Your comparison is too bad, man. You're not comparing apple to apple. You comparing.
Let me just finish, my brother. You have your say.
I can.
You allow me to finish what I'm saying. So my problem with this is, if you look at you are the one who talked about the Marshall Plan. We had these two words of communism or socialism and capitalism. There was a Cold War for this, for God's sake, and everybody know the General Marshall, who developed the plan after the Second World War. It was really just a choice. Be capitalistic or socialistic. What happened? All the countries who chose to be on the side of America enjoyed prosperity. Even in Germany, that was split into half. West Germany enjoyed prosperity. But this idea and this, essentially masturbation over, socialism, I think is dangerous. And this is, we're trying to sell, even us, in Africa, even before the Europeans came, we were not socialistic. We didn't depend, at least from where I come from. People controlled their own stuff. Even Chairman Mao, when he tried his great leap forward, what happened? I think between 18 million to 45 million people died for nothing. China, that believed that Soviet Union did not follow real Marxism, is now almost a capitalistic country. And now we're trying to treasure North Korea? Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. 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 Thank All right. So
Okay, let me say this.
okay, go ahead.
No, everything you said, some of them are correct, some of them are not correct at all. Understanding the way business are run in the West and also socialism and capitalism. America doesn't practice capitalism. A lot of you are surprised. America doesn't practice capitalism. They practice what favors them. They practice capitalism when it favors them and socialism when it favors them. That's what the average billionaire in America does.
No. America does not practice socialism. In fact,
Okay.
it's actively against it for some strange
Okay.
reason.
Wait. No, sir,
Please
I'm
wait.
still talking. You
I know,
called me
I
out,
beg your
right?
pardon. I beg your pardon. But please wait a minute. I won't be long. America, let's just be accurate. America practices democracy, so to speak. But what's really going on is
Democracy is the government, not a market system.
my brother, what they put out is democracy that runs their polity. That's what they put out there. However, what is actually going on is capitalism. That's what's going on. Get it straight. Get it right. Don't just.
Okay. Let me finish what I was saying. So what I'm saying is this: America doesn't practice capitalism the way people think. America practices because number one,
capitalism, Ekene.
you guys will not.
Can we let him finish his statement, because maybe he's trying to make a wider point so that it will make sense.
No. Yeah, I said this is the third time he's saying this.
I came here. Somebody told me that I was cutting him off.
And we allowed Odi to say.
I
There are so many that disagree with Odi about.
So let's. So America doesn't practice capitalism the way you guys think, because I'll tell you why. You have a billionaire like Elon Musk, right? He's a capitalist guy, free market. He doesn't want anybody to interfere with the way he makes money, how far he can make money. He doesn't want anybody to truncate anything. But guess what? He comes to the government for contract, and he doesn't want anybody else to to go after that contract with him. And then when he loses something, he now goes to the government to get a bailout, right? Isn't that socialism? Okay, let me say this. North Korea, the way you guys think of the way Odi thinks of North Korea is not what North Korea is. First, North Korea broke apart because there are two global power fighting each other, but using these two countries as proxy, which is South Korea and North Korea. The South leans towards United States, the North leans towards China. Instead of United States and China to go to war against each other because it's going to be nuclear, right? They use proxy.
It was the Soviets actually, not China.
It was China, wasn't Soviet.
It was Soviets. Then later, then China backed them. But it's okay.
But when the war broke out, it was China.
China, yes, correct.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is this, right? Then if you go to today, the reason why North Korea has not opened its market doesn't mean that North Korea cannot do better job than South Korea in terms of capitalism or whatever market that they want to practice, because they have far more hardworking people than South Korea. The reason why is because of the threat that United States has always posed to them. But now they have the military. What they did was to pull back and develop the military means to withstand the United States. Because back in the days, right, United States, just like forefather said, bombed the crap out of them. They built most cities underground. But now that they have intercontinental ballistic missiles, they can hit multiple cities in the United States, all the way to Washington,
I'm
D.C.
finding it hard to understand where you're going.
Okay,
really.
Don't worry. I think
I understand. I think I understand.
So what today they have far more solid power to withstand America because they have ballistic missiles. They have strong submarines. They have multiple submarines that can deploy missiles under the water without even surfacing. So they have that power today to go against America. Then the question is, why are they not opening their market? Number one, America has, if you see the difference between America and Russia, is that America has a lot of proxies. America can infiltrate your country without even bringing their own military. They will infiltrate your country with so many people. That's why North Korea still blocks to vet people that will come to their country. They have every access to make everything that they want because they are almost self-sufficient. They produce their own cell phones. They produce a lot of things themselves. It's a country that is self-sufficient, but not open to the global market. So you will be thinking that you can compare. The thing is that why would you ever compare Gaza to North Korea? That's why I was confused. You don't compare stuff like that, brother. It's not the same thing at all. America can never bomb North Korea.
Even North Korea and
They
Nigeria
cannot
village,
even try.
like even North Korea and Nigerian village is a complete.
It's not even this. The thing is that this is one thing that I gotta say this, right? We some of us so much love America that we think within ourselves that is all gloomy. It's not. To be an American friend is fatal. That's what Henry Kissinger
Well, I
said.
think you made most of your
But
points.
no.
If I
But I
can
will land.
respond.
I
Okay,
will
man.
land in 15
Yeah,
seconds.
there's so much noise around you. I don't know
Is my
what's
daughter?
going on.
Is my daughter?
Yeah, so
So let me stay in 15 seconds so that I can drop the mic. This is the problem. This is the problem. The problem we have in Nigeria today is not because Nigeria doesn't have good economy or good market system to do anything. Our problem comes from the West. When Jonathan went to the West and said, supply us with nuclear, no, I'm sorry, not nuclear, supply us fatal, supply us fatal weapons so that, no, supply us fatal weapons so that we can go after Boko Haram and destroy them because we've cornered them. Guess what they did? They refused. The same America goes to Nigeria today with their NGOs to plan to attack Nigeria with Boko Haram. And you defending a country like that? I'm sorry, I live in this country, but it's a whole lot of problem.
Yeah, that is very interesting, though.
let me
Our
respond.
people
I
display the
think
content that is
I
very
think I have a right to respond to him.
Fathers, I think
no need. I think no need.
And I don't know why Kenneth keeps
I'm not talking.
this
This Kenneth incarnation.
No. So I have to
Hold on. Let me just say some hi to Eccentricals. I hope you came here with a good mood today. Don't start any fights. You are the support the diaspora voting. Anytime you show up here, you start a fight automatically.
Me and DMX. No, we're not fighting.
Let's take it easy. Okay, Odi.
Let me just respond to him. Okay. So, the comparison with the village in Nigeria is, I'm talking about happiness. And Maska said a few years ago, Nigeria was supposed to be the happiest people, Nigerians, in the world. It didn't mean, in the human, capital index or development indices that we were doing well. This idea, and that everybody has to have their view. Do I like America? Of course I do. I'm American. I live here. It was a purposeful immigration, an abandonment of where I was for a place that I feel is better. I find it, there is China as a place to immigrate to. You can even go to North Korea. But folks decide to live in the West and just, every day slug it against the West to say, hey, the West is evil. We hate the West.
Listen, we can criticize the West.
Can I just let me land? Now I'll leave the place for you. You can just have fun.
We can criticize the West, man, right?
Yeah, everybody, that's what I'm saying. Why don't you try going to North Korea and living in North Korea and criticizing North Korea?
If you criticize
that's my
country,
point.
Does he mean that you have to leave the country? If you criticize a place, if you criticize, like, let's say your workplace, right, for doing something you don't like, does that mean that you want to leave the workplace? Is that what
see, what I'm saying is you're living in a place who allows you to criticize them.
Exactly.
That's the whole point I'm making to you.
So you
I'm
do it,
saying,
exactly. It's part of your right.
Just let me just, you're good. Don't worry. Once I'm done, I'll leave the stage. You can have fun.
You are the one that brought the issue of moving away. But go ahead.
My point is very simple. these places with their different ideologies, their market theories are there. And we have made a choice for most of us to come to the West. Yet we hate the West so much, you know, and you say, oh, we can criticize. North Korea is there. People can go there and live. You know, it's like people who come to America and say, oh, no, we want Sharia now. I say, no, if you want Sharia, there's Saudi Arabia. You can go there, there's Sharia. Don't try to come and change. You saw it's a full package. You saw their laws, you saw how these people live. Oh, it's like, oh, this is gay craziness, this one, that one. I don't support whatever, I don't support that. But you knew this was there. Don't come and try to be an activist. You couldn't change it in your country, and you're coming here and say, oh, no, I'm going to change the whole system here.
Body, I think you are dancing well, but you're spoiling your dance, my brother. America is not a perfect society. Don't make it look like
of course, nobody is saying that America. Let me tell America. I even agree with Tekene that America is not a capitalistic country. Hold on. America is not. There can never be pure capitalism or communism, and we know that, or socialism. It's impossible. Even Russia or even Soviet Union, at their best, did not have pure socialistic states, and we know this. So everybody runs a little bit in the middle. If you have a capitalistic state, you cannot have Medicaid. You cannot have Section 8. You can't give people aid. Everybody has to live and die by what they get. Even Nigeria is more capitalistic than the United States, if we go to that. You know, because if you go to the emergency room in Nigeria, if you don't have 5,000 or 50,000 to pay deposit, my brother, you unalive. But
okay, can I add something to what you were saying about other people being happy? I think the context they were referring to in their country was, if you couple it with all the other metrics, you find that they have higher than a country like ours that has not been subject to any sanctions at all. And that is the difference. They are basically walking with one hand tied behind their back, and they are still doing better than us. That should worry you, because it is true that nations that deal with America, it's not a fait accompli that they are going to end up poor. But somehow we haven't ended up prosperous. While and it's specific to black people. Almost every other group that has done business with the West they are emerging. And I think the part of the reason why they emerged is because at some point they turned and said, no, we are in the West, we are not going to agree, we are going to do our own thing, and after we get ourselves, we can do merriment. Because India wasn't very, very friendly with the West when they were doing their nuclear tests. China wasn't. The Middle East, there was a time they were fighting the West.
India is never an anti-imperialist country. No,
they were. Calm down now. Let me finish the point I'm making, Jare. The Arab countries, they fought the West once when they were against Israel and all the rest. So they had all those problems. India, as we see it, they may not be anti this thing, but they tested nuclear weapons that the West didn't want them to test. So what is the relevance of that point? The West was against them testing the weapons, getting the weapons in the first place. So they didn't want them to have it, and yet they went and got it because they said, you know what, I like you, but there are certain things you are not going to give me. There are certain things I'm not going to rely on you for. Just like any friend you have in the world, you are not going to rely on that friend for so many things. It's not everything your friend is supposed to do for you. You know, we all know how many things your friends cannot do for you. So I don't need to enunciate that.
Unfortunately, I have to tell it to your face. Okay, you are falling victim of narratives. This North Korea, don't make it look as if North Korea decided to fight America. Don't do that. Not America, not Korea was an appendix of Russia. They are where they are because of the Russian influence. It's not that
I agreed to that, but
I don't think so. I don't think
we didn't do the same.
I don't think it's because of Russia's influence.
Facts of life.
No, but that is not our argument at all. That whether who chose to fight or who not chose to fight. I'm just saying the matrix that they have now indicates that they are doing better, even than us.
Okay, so let me school you forefathers. Okay, the fact of the matter is that you are missing something fundamental. And I will repeat what I've said before on this platform. Okay? Nigeria is far better than North Korea as a country. You would not like it, unfortunately, but the reality is that Nigeria as a country, when America and Russia were scrambling for Africa, Nigeria decided to be non-aligned. Yes, you may laugh, you may
it's hard for me to see if you go by the matrix. If you go by the matrix,
me to finish now, forefathers.
Go ahead. No, let him finish since he wants to finish. Please go ahead.
Okay, all right. We decided to be non-aligned. We charted our own course. Okay, things are not good now, but I can tell you that Nigeria, in terms of taking its fate into its own hands as a people, we are far better than North Korea. North Korea is where it is because simply it was an appendage of another country. They didn't decide to start fighting their own brother. No, Korea and North Korea and South, they are one country, for God's sake. So when we talk, let's have the full background of what we are dealing with.
Maska,
wait, hold on. Maska,
it's very important.
Nigeria is not better than North Korea. North Korea has universal basic, they have a universal health care, right? North Korea has universal health care, and they have free tuition college, and it's compulsory. In Nigeria, you pay money to go to school. Nigeria doesn't have universal health care, right? If you're sick in Nigeria, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I am in Nigeria. Listen, please stop these things you do. I am in Nigeria. I am not
better than North Korea. Can you explain that? Can you explain how Nigeria is better than North Korea?
What I'm telling you, I'm putting it to you that I am calling this. I'm joining from Nigeria. I have been sick. I am not dumb. We destroyed the country as if like no.
Answer the question. Don't deviate. Answer the question. How is Nigeria better than North Korea? In what matrix? Like how?
Eccentric.
Answer the question.
What I'm saying, I'm not saying that in terms of development index, Nigeria is better than North Korea. I'm more enlightened than that. Okay. I'm going back to forefathers because what forefathers, his premise is that North Korea decided to fight America. And I'm telling him, no. North Korea is on the other side of America, not because as a people, they have looked for what is their best interest. That is not what happened. If you're comparing Nigeria to North Africa in terms of a country that compared what is in best interest, Nigeria is far better than North Korea because America prevailed on Nigeria. Russia was trying to prevail on Nigeria. Nigerian leaders at that time decided that, no, we're not going to be anybody's boy. You people should go and do what you want to do. We will remain independent.
Okay. Hold on. Seneca, let me just take him on here. We are
leading an organization that is called globally a non-aligned movement.
Yeah, that is just a general statement.
But it is not because we didn't decide to go with America or to go with Russia.
See, the point you made about
Nigeria to North Korea today. Don't think that North Korea made a choice. They didn't make a choice.
There has to be a choice. Let me say this. Can you hear me?
My submission is that the leaders of North Korea did not make the best choice as at today to go along with the trajectory they have taken. This is a personal opinion. Okay, in my opinion, I really feel they should open up the country.
Let
me just deal with this first. Since you are bringing out a point that I didn't make about whether they decided to go to the war or not, the war occurred because there are two divisions in the country. One wants to be capitalist, the other wants to be socialist or communist.
No, correct. They didn't want.
Oh my God! Please, let's not do this now. Let's not do this. In here, let me just say what I want to say now. Let me just say what I want to say. I'm going to come to. I'm trying to get to the point you made. I'm trying to get to the point you made.
All right.
The part of it that they are not in control of is that there are two powers behind them: the Soviets and the Americans.
Yes.
Of course, they had an influence over them. You are saying, your argument is that because Nigeria was able to repel both of them by saying we are non-aligned, Nigeria is better. And I'm saying that those people that chose, they are better off based on outcomes now. Because you see that we may have, maybe in some alternate reality, our choices. Sorry, please.
I have to say this.
Please hold on.
When you're done.
Please, every time I'm trying to get to a point, you want to interrupt people all the time.
Yeah, you did, man. You got to calm down.
I have something very important.
Hey, you calm down,
just wait. Let me finish. You store it and
you can't
wait.
speak when someone else is speaking.
You know, especially when I'm talking about something relatively new.
That's what you guys do every time.
Now he's just completely cut it off again. So regarding where the choice our leaders make in Nigeria to be non-aligned, maybe in some alternate reality, they would have emerged more prosperous. And if that was the case, I would say, oh, that choice panned out. And why did North Korea when they went south? Because they went and fought for the Soviet Union, and the South Korea went and fought for the West, and they fought and destroyed the country, and the country, maybe they even used nuclear weapon, and the country was completely uninhabitable in that alternate reality. But in the reality that we have now, the decision we made, the outcome is completely terrible for our people. Life expectancy in North Korea is about 20 years ahead of that of Nigeria.
That's right.
Their GDP per capita, even if their GDP per capita, because they are sanctioned, is slightly higher than that of Nigeria. The development level index, education, just name it, they are ahead of us. And their ability to survive in this world, they are still ahead of us. Because those people have armed themselves to a point whereby if you want to take them out, you have a lot of trouble on your hand. But right now, if you come to Nigeria, all we have is a market woman, this in shed, to be able to protect us from anything. So we cannot compare ourselves with what North Korea has done, because I'm comparing to what actually exists on the ground today, not based on your choice, the choice you said our leaders make, because the choice our leaders make didn't get us any positive outcome that surpasses that of North Korea.
Yeah. So for like, look, Nigeria had stringent capitalist programs like a structural adjustment program, right?
Eccentric. I think, in fairness, Jide was trying to say something.
Yeah, Jide was trying to say something very important.
It's very important. It's very, very important. Because someone, I don't know who mentioned it, with due respect to that person, but that person was wrong. That it was Russia's influence on North Korea that made North Korea worry. That's not true. What actually happened? Because I needed to talk about this. I know about this history. After the Second World War, Japan lost its influence in the Korean Peninsula. It was the United States of America that developed the idea of creating an arbitrary border that divided North and South Korea. Then, at that point, North Korea decided to ally with the Soviet Union. In reaction, the Soviet Union never had anything to do with it. What happened was the United States created an arbitrary border, so they're going to have an influence in that region. Then they facilitated the invasion of North Korea towards South Korea. So it was actually the United States that was actually responsible for that chaos that happened. We need to stop making Russia and the United States seem like they are both evil. Then North Korea needed Russia's help. That was the Soviet Union.
If this is the
then
point
Stalin, listen.
don't
let me talk. Let me finish talking. Then Stalin supplied them with weapons in response to invade South Korea. We need to understand this history. We need to stop misleading ourselves. It was the United States that created that border. They are one people. They created that border to what? To have influence there after Japan lost that war. And after that time, what did America do? America bombed the shit out of those two regions, killing millions of people. North Korea stood their ground and still held the ideology of being communist. Up till now, the US is containing North Korea and targeting them even up till now using South Korea. That's what I want to say. And it's very important we know that. For anyone listening, it's very important history.
Thank you.
That's right. So, I mean, the reason why I came is because you guys were talking about socialism and communism, capitalism. The thing is, we need to actually look at the definitions of socialism and communism. Like, communism is like the graduation of socialism. You have to go through socialism to get to communism, right? Like, no, I don't think any country has actually achieved like pure communism. It's like it's a utopia. Like you cannot get there. And I'll put it to you, right? The future of humanity is communism because of AI. AI will take all the jobs, and you will not be able to do anything. In that case, how would you buy food? How would you pay for your rent? All your knowledge, everything that you learn from school wouldn't mean anything in the next 50 years. AI will be able to do every single thing. I'm not talking, nothing is exceptional. There's nothing, everything, engineering, anything, pharmaceutical, everything. AI can do anything. They can do research. They can do anything. Astronomy. We will be left with nothing. So we will be left with.
What's the point now? It's
forced to implement communism. You'll be forced to implement, but currently no country has implements communist system, right? China is like their communism has its own Chinese model, right? Because it's a scientific system, right? You have to like experiment to get to the, like, there's no absolute communism, right? Every country have their own communism.
Is there absolute capitalism?
No country practices absolute capitalism.
So we don't talk about absolute.
Well, people were saying, I think
the discussions we had, we all understood that these are spectrums. Okay. They are just, when you say communism, capitalism, you're only talking about a spectrum.
Yeah, but see, look, Nigeria, right? The problem with Nigeria, right? The problem with Nigeria is like during with the structural adjustment program, all the socialist programs that we had in Nigeria then were scrapped. Babangida scrapped all of them, right? He scrapped like all the socialist programs that benefited the ordinary people were scrapped. Yes, right? Like that's what happened. Like United States.
That was what led to the devaluation of our currency. That was also what led to the devaluation of our currency.
Exactly. And the United States is going through that phase right now. You know what I mean? Like with what's his name? Trump cutting like Medicaid, cutting a lot of social programs. That's where we're going. Like, and the thing is,
it was a condition. It was a condition by IMF. IMF said that we have to. They told Babangida, in order for Babangida to get that loan that he got, that they distributed among the generals, right? The IMF condition was to cut those programs.
That's right.
That's to introduce austerity.
That's right. And the reason why communism failed in the rest of the world wasn't because it failed on its own. That's not what happened. It's the big brother here. Because you guys remember McCarthyism. McCarthyism was when they were deporting people. Like, I forgot how many people were deported. American citizens.
Stay on because you.
No, I'm just saying. Dude, I heard what you guys said, right? You said that communism failed. It's not a good system, whatnot. No communism has ever been left alone to flourish. I mean, look at Cuba right now, right? Cuba sends doctors everywhere. They created vaccines for Ebola and all, and COVID vaccine before the United States even made COVID vaccine. But they're being sanctioned, right? They're practicing.
Sorry, Senecas, have we ever wondered if the West allowed the communist states to trade with them?
What?
What are those
communist the West to allow them to trade?
No, sorry. Because if you look at the one that they did with China, clearly China excelled. So maybe the reason why, like Seneca said, is because the big guy is making sure the communist systems fail.
Exactly.
They are starving it so that it fails.
Dude, they were going to countries.
Because communism is their far. That's what I was trying to tell you guys earlier. Communism was a far better system. If they had allowed communism to ever survive a day, that would have destroyed capitalism. So in order not to, because communism.
I have one question about communism, though, that I hear what you're saying about this thing, that comparison. But there's one question that always resonates that I'm curious about in communism. When they said the idea of having people stay in one area, is that a kind of feature of communism, or is just a feature of specific government?
No, this is what communism does. Forefather, you are born by your father, and then the system will look at you as you grow. They will see what you're good at. Then they will train you on that from elementary school all the way to university. your tuition will be paid for all the way to university, but you're going to be specialized. So communism, one thing that people don't like about communism is because some people want to be able to have freedom, as they call it, freedom to do other things. But what communism does, which is not bad at all, is that they improve what you better at. But that doesn't mean you can't do anything else. But the state pay your tuition for that. If you want to do anything else, you have to pay for it. That's what the communists did in China. I'm sorry, did in USSR. My cousin was a medical doctor graduated from this thing, secondary school in the early 80s. He went straight to China. He went straight to USSR. When he got there, because he passed his medical school examination, when he got there, the Communist Party, the Communist Russia, Soviet Union, paid for his tuition, even though he wasn't a USSR citizen. They paid his tuition, paid everything, because his result proved that he was good, right?
Yeah, so
They paid for it. And that's what Russia did for every their citizen, any of the I'm sorry, brother. All their citizens, right? The same thing China still do up to today. Any of their citizens that prove themselves to be good at something, they take that person into university, into school, all the way to university. They pay for that specialization for you to be good at what you do.
So, like West Europe right now, right? Most of the socialist programs, right, are still intact. Like in Germany, college tuition is free, right? In Germany, and they have universal healthcare. And most European countries have universal healthcare, and these were like leftovers from their communist past. And you got to remember, when they were practicing communism, United States of America with the CIA had a program. I forgot what it was called. They were killing off communist leaders, creating
Operation Gladio. That was now what evolved into
Operation
NATO.
Gladio. There were different operations.
That was what now evolved into NATO. See, in fact,
they didn't want communism to survive.
They didn't want it to survive.
Yeah, but the original point. Let's not trail away from the original question that was asked about movement.
Yeah,
is it a feature of communism, or is it a feature of a specific government that is practicing communism?
So let me answer that is essential. You see, let's rewind back. All this story, we are just banding things in the air. Okay, the father of communism is Karl Marx. Okay, what he did, he looked at capitalism as it is, as a system.
Dude, we practice communism in
Why
Nigeria.
do you like to always interrupt?
Do you
what is the point? Why don't
hold
you
on?
just
Do you know? No. Do you know we practice communism in Nigerian villages? What are you talking about? You live in Nigeria, right? If you go to villages like in the east or in the south, they practice communism.
Let's focus on the point. The question that was asked. If this was an exam, they would be getting 0 or half a point or whatever.
Karl Marx.
Let's deal with the movement, freedom of movement issue. Because that's one of my biggest gripe with socialism or communism, whichever one decides to restrict freedom of movement.
I mean, maybe if you want to talk eccentric, you can talk.
Why would it restrict?
What we should endeavor to do eccentric is to listen to each other so that we can learn. And what I mean by learn, listen, what I mean by learn, I may think I know. By the time I finish talking, somebody can now correct me. In that process, I learn. Sometimes you think you know, but when you listen to somebody, you find out that, okay, maybe this guy is making sense.
Oh my God, I think time is running out. So we need to bring
what I'm saying, forefathers, is that the father of communism is Karl Marx. He looked at capitalism as it is. He said that this system has an inherent contradiction, that at some point, it will contradict itself and there will be a lot of problems. So countries like Russia and China, they took that playbook and decided that, okay, look, let's take the means of production and organize ourselves. It didn't work because essentially the real challenge is that the people who will take over this planning, these people that are sending people to school, the end result is that there will be corruption in that system. People will become like self-appointed, I don't know what you call it, but that is what happened to both China and even Russia. And in the end, what they have seen, to answer your question, is that even the Western capitalist countries, what they have seen is that true, yes, inside capitalism, there is an inherent contradiction. So all these things that you see where they are arguing about healthcare is what is called welfareism. So you put what is called a safety net. Because when there is no safety net, the people would definitely revolt. Because capitalism has an inherent, somebody said it, the richer will continue to get richer, because the rate of return to capital is always higher than the rate of growth. Okay.
So what do we do? What is responsible for the movement then? I'm still dealing with that freedom of movement. That restriction, is it part of?
Are you talking about movement in terms of people going from one place to another?
Yeah, living in one place or another.
Where everybody
there was no restriction in communism about that. That was just propaganda by the West.
Okay, let me get this. Let me get this straight. So socialism is what Soviet Union used to practice, not communism.
Communism is the government. Socialism is the monetary is the financial system.
No, not the financial.
I think communism and socialism, there's slight difference between them, but they are similar.
No.
Let
me find out. Let me
what
confirm.
Socialism says is that to each according to his need. Okay.
That's not true. It's the means of production is controlled by the workers. Like it's in that simple word. You can look up.
You're right, eccentric. You can look up the
definition.
You're absolutely correct. You're right.
Yeah. The means of production is controlled by the workers. That's what he means. You have to be paid by the output, by your work output, and it's a scientific process, man. There's a way to measure output, and then you are compensated for the output correctly. Like in capitalism, the owner who doesn't do anything gets all the money. The workers get a little chunk of the money. That's what communism was, fighting against. It's like, for instance, anyway you have unions, anyway that form union, that came out of communism. I mean, that came out of socialism. That's how we form unions, right? Union can negotiate, pay and negotiate. Like for us to be able to have a 40 days work week, that came from socialism, right? That came from unionism, which is an aspect of socialism. So you can look up the definitions there.
Okay, so as you can see, socialism and communism, they are quite similar in quite a lot of ways. It's just that communism seems to be a more aggressive version.
Yeah, communism is like that.
From what they stated here. So you can take note of that. And regarding the issue of let me get back to the normal thing. So I think time is running out. The issue of movement again, I still haven't gotten a clear answer.
Nothing in socialism restricts movement. It's not part of the system. It's not part of the.
Okay, then how about capital? How about communism?
Nothing in communism restricts movement. So in communism, all properties are owned by all properties are owned by the. There's no private ownership of property. I think that's what you.
No. That's not true. In communism, what happened is that there is a lot of housing provided by the government to the less privileged.
No, to the proletariat. So you cannot own a property as a private individual.
But the question,
you can't.
Government that you're talking about, who are these that you call government?
The proletariat appoint the okay, so if you have a union in your workplace, the union appoints a president, right? That's it. That's like the microcosm of socialism or communism.
Yes.
When you form a union in a workplace, you appoint a leader. Like if you run a co-op,
it does say, let me confirm it with evidence. It does say that communism doesn't inherently require restriction of movement. It's just that the people that practice it did restrict movement, which I don't think is a necessarily good idea to do that, because it just makes it look bad.
Each country can practice their own form of each country can
forefathers.
Communism.
Forefathers, can I talk about that? Forefathers.
Sorry. Yeah, let's call Kando, please, because before he can go, because Kando, take your 3 minutes to round up, because we don't have any time left.
I'll try and wrap it up in 3. Masker, Beleo, Chena Panadol, I've been at paracetamol even night from all these people.
Don't worry,
At
don't worry. I'm a resilient old man.
At the end of the day, America practices a capitalist socialist system because without the socialist system, there will be riots on the streets. Okay? None of this socialist communist system, be it any of the USSR country, has ever been a success. None. Zero. Hold on. No. Yeah, well, I have 3 minutes. Please. You can come after me. I have 3 minutes. So let me use my 3 minutes wisely. None. Zero. Not communist Cuba.
Why?
Not any. It doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter why you're.
But they still exist. So
I'm not. I beg. Let me use my 3 minutes. It doesn't matter the reason why you failed. The reason why you failed.
Can we let him use his minutes, please?
It doesn't matter why you failed. You failed. Whoever held you back,
I'll tell you why.
Whoever held you back, maybe America held back North Korea, just like in Vietnam. It's not about America trying to put anybody down.
Yeah,
it was two group of people fighting, and the people in the South wanted to go a certain way, just like they had in Vietnam. North and South. It was a duel. America supported a side. The other side decided that they needed help. Please, I have 3 minutes. Please, the other side decided that they needed a system. Look, Odi told you all earlier on. This is the best thing. Nobody's saying American system is just has no flaw. But this is the best thing going. If you don't like it, move to Iran, move to Russia. This conversation you are having over here, this conversation, I beg, hold your horses. This conversation, you cannot do this. You cannot have this conversation in North Korea. I promise you. You cannot have this panel unless
how do we even know all these people? Just assume you can't have all this conversation.
I look at the number of journalists that have been jailed in Russia. Look at the number of journalists that are trying to publish what's going on, that they jail in Russia. You can't have this panel in Russia.
I'm very disappointed in Nigerians, man, sometimes.
There are certain things we cannot have even in the West.
Our people say anything will enter their mouth.
Exactly. Let me thank all these. Hold on.
Just summarize.
Let me thank the people in the chat.
Just summarize. Thank you.
Sorry. Let me thank the people in the chat. All these stingy people that
can't do your mute. You still talking your mute. You muted yourself.
No, can you let me thank the people in the chat before we close down?
That's fine.
No,
there's nothing anybody
because it's 3 minutes. 3 minutes is over. 3 minutes is over. I just wanted to thank the people, all the stingy people in the chat that didn't donate. It's all good. We are going to go to church tomorrow and worship God and donate. But it's all right. We are all spending time here. All these people, sooner or later they should be getting paid. They are talents. They are people with intellect coming here to refine their ideas and share with people, and people are not supporting. And yet tomorrow they are going to go to church and put a lot of money in this. And all those people that are not supporting us here, shame on you. But exactly. I will thank all of them that are in the chat. Shame on you, all of you, I say. Okonko 21, thank you for coming here. Shame on you. Wachuku, shame on you too. Blessed, shame on you all. And Ellie, thank you all for joining us. You don't have to donate, but if you have money and you don't donate, shame on you. You don't have to have money when you come here, but if you do and you don't want to donate, shame on you. Fubi, I see you there. Thank you for joining us. Chris Kane, I see you there too. All the people that I have not been able to mention, a Black Beauty, I see you there. Thank you all for joining us. This is 3 hours, and it's a good time to say good night to everyone. Till next time, bye.
I donated. Is that okay? I just donated.
You donated. Let me highlight it. Oh my God. You see, all these. You see, a socialist has donated. All these capitalist people.
It's not a socialist, it's a capitalist. Man is in America.
At least it's the closest we have to a socialist here. He's donated, and the others haven't donated. So thank you. I appreciate your donation. I really do appreciate that, Ekene. And all right, till next time, everyone. We'll meet again tomorrow. Goodbye. Bye.